sometimes my head go dey scatter. I don't understand. Government can put that guy there for the next 50 years. Nothing will happen. He no one made a judge. 12 there. Any day up to court. Don't finish what you have. I want to talk about what you finish what you have. Until they're ready. To face a case at Toyanga. They don't say no get case. Government cannot prosecute him. Government and I laugh for now. I am not a lawyer. Let me repeat. I am not a lawyer. But saying that government has no case against him is already the case. As far as they want to keep him there, now.
Am I still audible? I beg. Am I still audible?
Within they hear as another person they talk.
Yes, dog, we hear you.
Yeah, like I was saying.
Okay, now dog, you want to question now?
Is it?
Go on. I will think another person they interject you.
No. Somebody was calling me. So, like I was saying, if you believe that government has no case against this guy, anyway, I have nothing to tell you than that Abiola, they don't leave him, or they died there. Nothing happened. This country no born. Nothing happened. Dasuki, even after court, somebody leave him. He was held there until the government say, "Oh yeah, go home." El Zazaki, the same thing. The court said, "Let him go." The whole world cried. They see kill him. Nothing happened. After government, na God. So when you come here and take the mic and say government cannot, Nigeria does not have law. They have money. They have. You could choose weak. If you speaking English, you rest. Nnamdi Kanu, anyway, don't meet the government anyway. I don't know what the turn off will be tomorrow. We cannot get tomorrow. As Nadia, politics. Maybe Tinubu may want to win the Southeast votes, then release him. Although people like me will then fight him. He will then collect from people like me. If not, Nnamdi Kanu is not see. Nnamdi Kanu as a money, I'm not seeing this guy again. Alalaka 9, they are gone. They are gone for life. If you think there's anything that will bring him out again when you come here to be speaking English, they don't have case. Shame on you if you. Shame on me. Douglas Nnamdi Kanu should die in jail. That is my stand. Shame on me. Shame on me. Shame on me. Nnamdi Kanu should die in jail. He must die in jail. What is justice for the people that he has killed? The people that went under his nonsense and nuisance. What is justice for them? Shame on you when you come here to advocate for the reason Nnamdi Kanu. To come here, have the audacity to be saying shame on the people who are holding that. Nnamdi Kanu should die in jail. That is my stand. If you want to insult your life. I would have been a dead man today. I would have been a dead man just when they came to our house. Luckily for me, I was not at home. That same night, they went to Moody police station and burned down the police station. What would have happened if I was at home? They would have killed me. And then you come here shamelessly and have the audacity to tell people that are holding that he must die in jail. Shame on you. Shame on you too. Shame on you. Anybody that made that statement, shame on you, shame on your father, shame on your mother, shame on your generation, shame on your unborn children. I don't know what to say. I couldn't also know my opinion to air on such a topic. Any man that has the opinion of him, he should die in jail. He should die in jail. When he was demanding for 2,000 heads to bury Kosa, where is your shame? Where was your shame? When he was counting 400 heads as he has gotten already, where was your shame? Where was your shame? When he was giving orders that the police and the military should be killed, people burned by mothers and fathers, people who are husbands, brothers, nephews and cousins and uncles of other people, where was your shame? Where was your conscience? That you come here and say that people who are holding that he must die in jail. Shame on them. Shame on you. Triple shame on you for holding such an opinion. Now, come here, give your opinion. Tell us why he should be coming out, not to insult people that are holding, that are grieving, whatever, however they are grieving. You should not be the one to shaping people's opinion. You should not be the one to tell people to tell people how to feel. You're not the gatekeeper of feeling. You don't have the right to tell people what to think about or what to believe or what to see and how to see it. You don't have that right, for crying out loud. It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense, for crying out loud. I don't understand why we do this and why we think we must police people and tell people what to do. I don't understand it. It does not make sense to me. So we should stop it, for crying out loud. We should stop it. But Nnamdi Kanu, he will not see this sky again. And see, my prayer in all these things, and I wish God will do it for me. I don't know how possible it's going to be, but I wish they do it. Let them bundle Nnamdi Kanu, bundle Samoneba, but Hanab, Nimo one room, Jakatai, Hanab, them guy, Jakurube. The two of them go there, meet, and be doing the terrorism there. That will be the best gift I will ever get in this my life from federal government. So that I never have not listen to you. I even enough for not listen to you. It would have been the best thing. Been the best thing to happen. Because if you can sit anywhere you're sitting today and look at Southeast and look at how unbearable, unlivable, inhabitable it is, and then you say shame on anybody that's holding a Nnamdi Kanu will die in jail. And I shame on you. I wish some well, not what do me any name. That's what they call it, they come back.
Oh, boy, how do you move back?
Okay. If you Marshall, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. I apologize. I've been battling network. Network has been a problem. So I'll just go straight into what I was saying. So I was saying that it's a shame that people would wish that, this unfortunate, criminal trial continues the way it has been with Nnamdi Kanu locked up and absolutely no trial for the past years. So one thing I was also saying is the fact that a federal government that is prosecuting a person for felony or whatever the charges may be cannot put itself together for 4 years plus to prosecute a person and grant conviction within the period that this person has been committing the alleged offenses or the offenses. They had the opportunity to gather all the evidence necessary for it. They failed to do so. Now he is on trial. They have amended their charge. In fact, I've lost count of how many times that the federal government has amended its charges. Remember, I also said that an application was made for the change of Binta Nyako to be the one to sit over that matter. The matter was returned to her due to play. I would like to state that Nnamdi Kanu is a political captive. Let me put it that way. If you cannot carry out a proper criminal trial against the person, then I even have to question your own integrity and your way of administering justice. The things that Nnamdi Kanu has done, if you have a law that they are written in, present the law to the court, prosecute your case, ask the defender to enter his defense, and proceed to give judgment. That this case has not even left the court of first instance should raise a lot of
Who is mooting them, Kwanu?
Chukudima.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Maswell can
Please,
continue.
please make
You see, Marcel, are you done? What happened?
My mic was muted.
Who mute now? Go on.
Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. So what I'm saying is that the federal government has failed to carry out its whatever Nnamdi Kanu is doing with his lawyers. Whatever Nnamdi Kanu is doing with his lawyers, it's unfortunate for him. On no account should anyone also deserves justice. If they can carry out a proper trial and then convict him, I'll be happy. Nobody is saying that Nnamdi Kanu should be freed, all the cases should be dropped and all of that. If you have a proper criminal trial against him, the laws are there, then proceed with your case. But what has the federal government? They've continued to frustrate this case as much as they want to. You should also recognize the fact that the bringing back of Nnamdi Kanu, the manner in which he was brought back, was a violation of his own rights as a person who is undergoing trial. So all of these things, when you begin to put all of them together, you'll see that there are a lot of political undertones to it. It doesn't just stop at telling him to stop talking too much or stop address. In fact, ask yourself, why is Nnamdi Kanu usually allowed to address the press as much as he does? I've not seen it. Why is Nnamdi Kanu allowed to address the press as much as he does? So this thing will continue to happen until there's a proper trial that is ready to be carried out against Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu have instigated people. A lot of things have happened, but it doesn't stop there. Like the law says that he's innocent until proven guilty. He needs to pass through that trial. And if the government continues like this, it will not have anybody on his side anymore. A lot of people have called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, not because he hasn't done things that are perceived to be wrong or that are perceived to be crimes, but because of the federal government has refused to carry out its trial properly. And there have been an order for him to be released. He hasn't been released. The same thing. This is not just an Nnamdi Kanu matter, and this is where my dismay stems up from. If you continue having abuse of the justice system, it creates a pattern, not just for Nnamdi Kanu, but for every other person that comes after Nnamdi Kanu. There are several criminal cases in courts today that are being frustrated because of these kinds of criminal patterns. Ask yourself, the popular police officer that was caught the other time with recordings and all, with drugs and the rest, I've forgotten his name, the super cop. I can't remember his name anymore. What is the status of trial? El Zazaki was held. What was the status of his trial? The same thing with Dasuki. All of these people, if you are sure you want to investigate. If you are sure you want to prosecute and grant conviction. Not to continue keeping people locked up for a long time, then human rights begin to use it as a yardstick to hold protest or release memos. And it tells a lot about our justice system, in fact. And these are one of the reasons why we are always ranked least when they talk about human rights, countries that uphold human rights in the world. These are instances because at the end of the day, it will always have a ripple effect on our justice system. And we see it everywhere. The courts are no longer there to be trusted. The person investigating is no longer to be trusted. The person who is prosecuting the case is no longer to be trusted. Even the person who is undergoing the trial. It continues on and on and on. Like they would always say, justice is not a one-way traffic. It is not even a two-way traffic. It is justice for the person undergoing trial, justice for the victim of the acts of the person undergoing trial, and justice for the Nigerian state. And each and every one of us falls a part of this Nigerian state. And if justice is not properly done in this case, I heard somebody saying that justice delayed, that it will still come. No, justice delayed is already justice denied. Okay, I will ask you, what if after all of this, the court comes and finds Nnamdi Kanu innocent? What would you say? What would you say? 4 years in custody? What would you say? So the thing is, if you continue to stress the matter, you would lose even the substance of evidence. All the things that you want to present in court, how old are they? How do you want the court to rely upon them? So these are the issues. Don't only look at it from the crimes that Nnamdi has committed. You need to hold the government responsible to have a
Yeah,
proper decision. We've
Doctor,
amended.
you see, Maxwell, you made the important point because I remember the case of Hamza Al Mustafa. After the court in Lagos sentencing,
Go ahead. Chukudima, let him finish. Let him finish so that we can get what he's saying. You can go ahead, you see Maswell.
Okay, so if I've even forgotten what I was even talking about, but in entirety, I think
you
that
see,
I don't need
Maxwell,
to
what I
continue
wanted to
backlogging the
ask
matter.
you, sorry,
Chukudima, let him finish so that we
yeah, you see,
understand where he's
Maxwell, what
coming
I
from.
wanted to ask you is in the case of how old is the evidence because the Supreme Court can be really funny. After the court sentenced him to death in Lagos, the next court in appeal said that um there is nobody alive who can stand as witness and all those things. So the whole argument about it is that the evidence are too stale, too old, and cannot be admitted again. And I don't know on what is there no way that they improve on that instead of this thing that we always have, or is it a standard thing that it gets to a time when evidence can no longer be admitted? For example, something happened 4 years ago. Is there a time where it cannot be presented as evidence? Is there any time it will reach it will no longer be evident enough? That was just what I wanted to ask because you mentioned something about
Yeah, it depends on the kind of case. It depends on the kind of case. I can't answer you straightforward. The evidence are still relevant in this particular circumstance, no matter the years it has spent. But every new thing that arises would not be a worthy or a weighty evidence for the court to rely upon. So it is everything that arose prior to the trial that they will be looking at. And you begin to ask yourself, at the times that these things came up, what were the laws operational? Because if you've changed the laws, it doesn't matter. What you look at are the laws that were operational at the time that he committed those offenses. So it's not in every case that evidence may lose its value, but of course, evidence loses its value. Instances in cases of rape and some other cases, evidence may lose its value because of the time that may have been spent, in getting them or in prosecuting the case. So the point of it all is for Nnamdi Kanu's case, they have not been able to do their homework properly. That is why we've had a lot of amendments of charges. When they raise objections, they go back home, they come to court the next day. Instead of them proceeding, they present to the court fresh charges. All of these things continue to strain it the more. And either it is complaint from the defendant, we are not available to come today, or it's complaint from the prosecution, we are not available to come today. The entirety of all I'm saying is it is not proper to keep somebody within this time frame without carrying out a due prosecution of the case. It is as much as there is a vendetta against the person. So the government needs to do his homework and make sure that this case is dealt with once and for all. If he's found guilty, he's convicted. If he's not found guilty, he's let go, whatever the outcome may be. And it's one of the reasons why I was against bringing back this man from Finland. What's his name again? Ekpa from Finland. You cannot be asking to bring somebody down from another country when you don't even have a proper justice system to rely upon. This is the same thing that we are going to see. Ekpa will be locked up for a long time. There will be no prosecution. We'll continue going back and forth. We've been seeing it for years, since 1999.
Maxwell, before
So
we're gonna go, I have questions. I have questions. Two questions actually. Can I go? Can I ask a question?
I'm done with my submission.
No. I have question. Can I ask you a question?
Dog Apple,
Yeah, you
okay,
can.
let's not stretch this thing. Let other people speak. Apple, there's nothing there's no question to be asked. Just make your submission. You're back now, Pico. Let's go ahead. I mean, what do you want to
No.
ask?
I know. I don't want to. I don't want to make submission again. I just want to ask. Just
Yeah,
want
you can ask him.
clarity because
Number
he's a lawyer
six, you can ask
apparently.
him.
Yeah, he's a lawyer apparently. First, you said that um he has been released and like a call for release or something like that from a court that was denied. I don't know if I heard it well, but something like that. You said that um they have refused to release him after court has released him. Did I hear something like that? Max?
Yes, I said so.
Yeah. Which court released him and why did they refuse to release him? I mean, going from that, that's actually the first question. I still have one more question. Because I mean, you're a lawyer. I mean, like the case, what I know is that the High Court of I think in Enugu released him. The Nigerian
I don't know.
there was an
If it's
appeal.
my network, but you're breaking. I'm not getting your question.
I beg, am I audible? Can somebody hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Federal High
Say
Court
which
released
court
him.
released Nnamdi Kanu? Simple. Which court released?
Yeah, which court released Nnamdi Kanu, please? And what the federal government do?
Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail before he was attacked and then brought back to Nigeria and then locked up again. Now, the details of the case are that he's bringing back and, being locked up again. They brought up applications before the court whether he violated the bail condition. And the court's verdict was that the bail conditions were not violated because he was attacked prior to his fleeing Nigeria and then the manner in which he was brought back. And then that was when he was now kept back in custody. And the trial continued before they continued with their amendments and retrial of the case.
You still did not answer my question. My question was, which court released him and what did the federal government do? That was my question. Which court released him? What did the federal government do? That was my question.
Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail. I don't have the full details. I think that was last
Granting
year.
of bail was in 2015 now.
He was
So
granted
Oh no,
this is why
2017 or so.
Either in
2017.
2017 was granting of bail. No. I mean, in 2023, he was normally discharged and acquitted.
Federal government appealed the case, and Supreme Court gave the judgment that he should face trial. That's what the Supreme Court said. Federal High Court discharged him. Federal government appealed.
You're asking the question and you're answering it. What I'm telling you is that I don't have the full facts. Either in 2023, you can go and check it up, or last year, 2024. I'm not certain.
No, it was in 2023.
There was no bail after the 2017 bail. There was not other bail.
There was no bail.
No
there
other
was no bail. He was discharged.
It's all right. I'll check it and get back.
I beg you. Are you people sure he was actually discharged, or the court just agreed with the extraordinary rendition his lawyers came up with? Because we are mixing things up. Oh, I will wait.
Whichever one. Engineer, whichever one. But I know that the federal government appealed the
was
case.
not granted bail. Simple.
That is what I know.
I mean,
there was appeal by the Supreme Court.
There was a federal government that was being struck out based on that. Wait a minute.
The Supreme Court gave a ruling. Why the Supreme Court agreed?
Yes,
that
but
he was
you guys from you DS has a lot of charges on him. They were systematically bringing him so that they did it tactically so that even if you discharge him on this, they can still keep him on the other charges. They didn't bring everything once.
It doesn't matter. This is rubbish. Rubbish. I beg, don't Stop this conspiracy nonsense. What game?
I thought he's a lawyer.
A lawyer doesn't know.
You see, my last question is: should federal government go ahead and prosecute him against his own will? That's my second question.
There is no will about prosecution. If a person is to be prosecuted, he can be prosecuted. It's not about your will, whether you are willing or you are
Okay,
not
but
willing.
I guess his own right when he said.
Hold
I
on,
mean, the
hold
whole
on.
thing he has been.
Let me finish. No matter, I got your
Sorry, man.
About my lawyer, I may not use the right word. You understand? So please, pity me.
I got your question. The point is, if they have a case against him, they can proceed to prosecute him. There is no, how do I put it? It's not the defendant to stop the prosecution. There is no stopping of prosecution. If the court says that the case should continue, the case will continue, and the prosecution will present its case. After the prosecution presents its case, then Nnamdi Kanu can take his defense. So it's not about his will. If the government is ready, they prepare their charge, read the charge to him, and they open their case. Like I told you, everything from the start of the case rests on the prosecution.
But that was what happened today. That was what happened today. The prosecutor read the charges for him before he started his career.
It has been happening every day. Either that guy speaking that don't even want to.
Can I?
Maybe let me just give my submission and leave you people to talk. Okay, because we are seeing something what it is. We are running around it, asking each other questions. Everyone knows what is at stake, except if you don't know. All right.
The first time I took the mic, I told you that yes, to a certain extent, he can stall, but that cannot stop his prosecution. And I said that from the start of the case, let me just finish what I'm saying so that you get my point. Now, you cannot tell me that a defendant has stalled his application, his prosecution for 4 years. You can't tell me that. Now, if a defendant is in the court, he raises objection to charges that are read against him. His objection will be considered, and the court will give a ruling on it. Where the court gives a ruling on it, they are to proceed with the prosecution. If the prosecution says it wants to amend its charge, the court will give them the leverage to go and amend its charge, give them another date to come back, read the charge to the defendant, and he will defend and he will plea. He will take his plea on the fresh charges that have been read. And the case is going to continue. That is what I've been telling you. Even if the defendant becomes violent, the court can order him to be restricted, and his prosecution can still go on. So these are the points I'm just trying to make you guys understand. This case has a lot of ups and downs, a lot of turns. I've not been in court to witness firsthand how it happens every time he's brought to court. But you cannot tell me that it is Nnamdi Kanu that is holding his case for 4 years. I'm not going to agree. That is just all I'm telling you. If the government has it, can you mute? I'm getting feedback. If the government has its evidence, let it proceed with its case. It's as simple and as short as that. If a defendant in a case raise the issue of bias, the issue of bias should be listened to and it should be considered. All the federal government needed to do when he first raised this issue of bias against Binta Yako was to give this case to somebody else. Then if he continues raising the issue of bias against every judge, then you know that he's doing it deliberately to stall the trial. Then you can now
The
assign
federal
a
government
judge
doesn't need to
and the
listen
case
to
will
that. What are you
continue.
saying? Like Trump claimed
Please
that the
allow me
judges
to
were
talk.
biased against. They
Allow me
don't
to
need to
talk.
listen to
Please
Nnamdi Kanu.
mute your mic and allow me to talk. I don't
You're saying
interrupt you when you
rubbish, I
speak.
beg. Like you don't
You
even
are
know
the
what
one
you're
that is
saying. You're
saying
a lawyer. You're
rubbish.
saying,
You are the
must the
one that is
federal
saying
government
rubbish.
listen to Nnamdi Kanu saying that the
You are
judge
so
is
ignorant.
biased?
Please mute your mic and just shut up.
You
I
can
don't
why you tell me to
interrupt you
stop.
when
You
you
know,
speak.
yeah,
Why
like,
why are you
shut up,
being
you high-pop
why are you
terrorist. Why
behaving
you
this
telling to
and
shut up?
what kind of
All the Emefiele
animalistic
men you
behavior
see,
is this?
you're
Are you
very
drunk?
stupid. You're very
You are a
Nnamdi
very
Kanu will die
stupid
in
person.
prison. I think I'll join
You
dog with
that
you
is
and be saying these
speaking now.
things.
You are
You
a
people
very
are
drunk
trash.
person.
You people are
I always keep
trash.
quiet for you when you talk and I speak.
What
What do you
type
think?
of the judge does not need to listen to Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is a nobody. He's going to die in prison.
At your age and standard, you still behave like an
Who are you talking to? Shut up. Are you
Why are you
mad? Who
calling
are
me
you?
Oma?
Oh,
Are you
these
not
small
a
rats.
co-host? Why are you calling me Oma?
I'm not in
I
that
want
mood
to
today.
me. I want to go and sleep. Good
I'm
night.
under the weather.
Chukudema, you give another person your co-host. My own is that is none of my business. I don't have any remorse for Nnamdi Kanu. I don't think I have to be thinking about him. So that is you people's business. Good night. Let me go and sleep and face my life.
So you not say you don't get investment for Southeast. That's why.
Um,
It's not your business.
so guys, who is the next person to speak? Using Maxwell, are you done?
Michael, you say I don't have
He's not going to
investment
speak
in
yet.
South.
I
Why
mean,
am
most of them are
Let me
who are you
let
talking
me
to?
round up.
Are you
It be
mad?
like
Who are you
say
talking
you
to?
don't get investment
But
for
No,
Keneke,
That's why
I'm
this
not
thing
going
is
to
wait,
going.
speak
Keneke,
here.
no,
Remember
Keneke,
whereby I'll tell them these
Keneke,
stupid I
no,
pop fools.
Keneke,
Thunder fire all of you people
no,
because you are
but
keeping quiet.
Keneke, no, but Keneke,
You people
but
destroy the
Keneke,
South yourself on Nnamdi Kanu. He should die there.
wait,
It's
Keneke,
you
but
and your
Keneke,
kinsmen that destroyed the Southeast. You are a
It is
very
you
stupid
people,
person.
you
Not
IPOP
even
You are,
dying
you
there.
are,
fools.
you
Where
are,
to
you
go
are a very,
hang
very
or
IPOP
rest
stupid
and
person.
hang.
fools. You IPOP fools.
You are very stupid.
Dying there is
At your
a
At your age and standard,
you
you
want
behave,
to
you
die
behave like
or
an
not.
Nothing
animal.
will happen. He's a terrorist.
Now they can't even tell
You
us.
think you can just find
Nnamdi
whenever you want
Kanu
to
will
and
die
come up
in prison.
and misbehave.
guys, if it is me that is doing this thing, all of you start complaining. Now people are doing it.
No, I'm
People should
to shut
not do like this today. Dr. CJ, they laugh. Dr. CJ, it's shocking that I can be sane, Abby. I'm the only sane person tonight. Please, now you guys let the conversation
this guy. Let me
continue.
Let it be my own turn now, so that the fact of
Keneke, wait.
who is
There's
he
something
insulting?
that
Because
Yusuf
isn't that the
Maxwell
Kanu's
said.
father?
Wait, Keneke,
Oga,
there's something
your
Yusuf
stupid
Maxwell
self
said.
insulted me.
I never
Your
insulted you.
stupid self insulted me.
Again, you are
You
a bastard.
insulted me.
You are
You insulted me. You are a
a
very
bastard.
foolish person.
Anybody, listen, I didn't insult
But
you.
Very
Why are you
foolish.
Keneke,
telling to shut up because of
You are a
Nnamdi
very
Kanu?
foolish
I
person.
told you that you don't
Very,
know what
very
you're saying. That's
foolish.
not an insult. You
but
don't know.
Keneke, I want to engage
Okay,
you.
tell me,
Keneke, I want to
oh my,
engage you.
engage
Let
me,
me ask
please.
you
I want to
something.
see iPod idiots.
But Yusuf Maxwell made a
Is you
point
and your
that
kinsmen
you
that are
Yeah,
can't
hyper
come
please
and
shut
idiots.
up,
tell
You are
Jerry.
a
us.
very
You're
stupid person.
Wait,
shut
You are a
up.
very
he made a
stupid person.
point,
I mean,
Keneke, he made a point. You can't come and tell us that it's Nnamdi Kanu that is stopping his
it
It's
is
persecution.
because
him.
he doesn't
It
want to be
doesn't
It
intelligent.
make
is.
A
Okay,
person
hold
who
sense.
on.
has refused
Oma,
to
Oma,
It
he's
listen.
the
doesn't
one
just make
I
anything
controlling
sense
the
that
to
is
say
flying
put
trial.
up
around,
a
you have refused to
video.
pick it
He's
I
the
up.
put
one
up a
truncating
video.
the
Watch the
trial. There's a
video.
no,
reason for that.
Nnamdi
Keneke,
Kanu.
he's the no, Keneke, no, you should not do this with me, with Nigerian government. Don't do it. Doesn't make sense. Yes, Kudima, this thing does
Listen,
not
it
make
makes
sense.
sense.
Oma,
This
You
is
put
can't
court
tell us that
Oma,
this
procedure.
Nnamdi
Oma,
Kanu is
Oma, put
This is
the
a court
video. I put a
procedure. It
video up.
makes
What
sense.
Nnamdi Kanu says lawyer should leave the country.
no, Keneke, since when did the federal government
He
start
ordered them
considering
out.
Because he
people
Why
says
is
federal
this
this
is
not
government
not
ordered
as
them,
peculiar to
Maxwell?
ambassadors?
Nigeria.
He
This
ordered them
federal
out to
government
step
that
Oma,
down.
can
Oma,
know,
Oma, it is not peculiar to
this
Nigeria.
federal government that can do what they want to
Oma,
do
it
at
is
any
not
time.
peculiar to
No,
Nigeria.
now.
Defendants can wake up and stop their. It's not peculiar to Nigeria.
No, yes, defendants can do that, Keneke, but you can't tell me that for 4
Okay, so Oma, what is the
years.
problem? What do you know? What have
They
you been
should go
following the case?
ahead.
This
The
lunatic
Nigeria,
has been
no,
asking for bail.
it
Okay, hold on.
has
Let me,
been
Oma.
4
It doesn't
years,
matter.
Keneke.
You
They
can
should
stall
get
your
up and do
case.
their
Oma,
job.
Oma, hold on,
No,
Hold on, hold
no, you
on.
can't keep
But
doing
he
that.
is
Nnamdi
telling
Kanu
the
They
case.
has
should
been
Why is it?
they should
stalling
go
his
How is
ahead
it
and
cases.
difficult
prosecute.
to understand?
He's been stalling his
Uh-uh.
cases. He asked for bail today. Tomorrow you ask the so Oma, first of all, the use
The
of
other day, he
justice
asked
is
for
there. True, I
government
can
visa.
agree. Hold on, let me finish.
Keneke, there's
Alfonso,
a time frame to
there's no
this.
time
It's not
frame. There's no time
forever.
frame.
No,
There
there is
is
a
no
time
time
frame to this.
frame.
It cannot be
As long
forever.
as he
Exactly.
No,
is still
There's
in
no time
there
detention,
frame.
is.
Go
he
and
can
read.
decide to stall
No,
it
then
in
the
forever.
system
He's
is
the one in
corrupt.
detention. The government is
Then
not
the
going to
system
run
is
away or
corrupt.
expire. So government is
Oma,
not in
Then
a
the
hurry.
Oma,
system is corrupt.
How
Then
many years was Dasuki's case? It's still on.
does it make it
It
right?
doesn't
You
matter.
guys should
There's
not.
no time case. They're not doing anything
No,
wrong.
Keneke, let's do the right
No time
thing.
case
Let's do the
for
You
right
there's no
people,
time
you
case.
It doesn't make it right because you're
see,
calling all those people.
you people
Does it
are
make it
I'm
listening
not
right?
saying it is
to
right or wrong.
you people are
Again,
listening
Nigeria,
to
I agree that
you people
Nigeria
are
has
listening to this
injustice
guy that has
problem.
never been
Just
Me,
one
I'm
of
always
them,
about
Master, who
let's
listen
do
to you. Who are you?
talking
something.
about
No,
straining
they asked you a
case or
simple
stretching
question.
case.
As Nnamdi Kanu be granted bail, you couldn't say anything, and you're there. You don't even know when it was granted. There is no, Oma, there's no.
But Keneke, a lawyer will not know
Okay,
everything
so
now.
but
It's
you couldn't
what
answer a
interests
simple
you, you
question.
will
They asked
know.
him here when was he granted bail. He said he
I
has to
But
answer
you
that.
answered
don't
your
know
Okay,
everything
question.
now. Even
I
as a
Oma.
answered your
lawyer, you won't
question
know
that he has been
everything.
granted
When was he
bail.
granted bail? You didn't
If
even know.
if you want to refute what I've said, bring your facts to refute it.
High court, go to the appeal court. It will be sent back to the high court. He's the one stalling his
Keneke
judge.
is a lie. It doesn't make it right.
It
Nigerian
is the
government will not
rule
give
of
me
law.
that
It's not about
crap.
making it right.
Not,
People have
the
done
rule
it.
of law does not
Okay, so
last
what should happen?
forever. There is a
Okay,
Um,
time frame for
So there's no
something.
time frame.
It won't last
There's no
Oma,
time
forever.
frame.
Oma, can I tell
There's
you
no
You people
time
are
something?
frame.
playing
This
Now,
politics
first
here,
of
there's
You
man.
all,
no
people
time
allow
frame.
me talk.
I'm not. You know that I'm Keneke. You know
There's
that
no
I'm
time
not an
frame.
Nnamdi
So
Kanu
what is the
fan.
time
I will
frame?
Please,
never
guys,
be.
let's allow this conversation to
When
move
what
You
is
to
the
go
time
people
ahead
frame?
now.
allow,
Let's move ahead. Let's move
allow
ahead,
me
I
guys.
talk.
will
But
never.
Ogadeke, I want to
I'm
ask
not
you a
even a
Emma,
question.
Kanu fan,
Emma,
but
it's
at
my,
least
my turn to talk.
Who are you, please?
Thank you.
who is the person now that is shouting Oma Oma?
um,
Whose turn is it to
Oma,
talk?
please
I
let's
don't
refute
know.
what I was saying.
Oh, God.
They called an engineer to
The
Who's
Coco.
who's
Who is the engineer?
the,
I
this
am
thing I
the
want
one
to
that
say.
said
This thing I
Oma.
engineer?
want to,
Okay.
Oma,
Okay, the engineer can go.
Okay,
Oma,
thanks.
let me say this.
Who's left again?
What I'm going
How
to
many
say
people
is
are speaking at the same
when
time? Who is even speaking?
I'm speaking, you see Maxwell is
I
speaking.
am trying to
When I
speak,
finish
but
my
that
speaking,
UC guy is also speaking. I mean, come on. I've been here for more than
engineer,
an hour.
please let me.
You see, you
Engineer,
wanted to
please.
say something.
Yeah, just 1 minute, and I would yield the mic. Now, under
Okay.
criminal litigation, even if you are appealing a bail ruling by the court, it doesn't end the main trial at the lower court. So even if you continue appealing whatever ruling that the court has given, the trial continues at the lower court. Our court has evolved and trials are no longer stalled. So if you tell me that because a person is appealing a bail application that was denied, that is what is stalling trial, then I wonder what moon you are speaking from. So that's just all I'm going to say, and I'll yield the mic. Thank you.
Nnamdi Kanu will die in prison.
Okay. Thank you. You see, engineer, please go.
Okay,
Can you get
first of
question
all,
answer?
trial cannot go on. Why am I having this feedback? Okay.
Someone's mic is on. Please, can we
Trial
mute her mic?
trial
I don't know.
cannot go on smoothly if one party is being dramatic every time in court. You will truncate your case, and at the same time, that thing the case will always be adjourned because look, even if it has taken 4 years, they have not been appearing in court every day. It has always been adjourned for 3 months, 6 months. Yeah, before it gets okay. The reason was that, wait. The first reason was that his lawyers argued that there was not no proper. They didn't follow protocol before he was brought from Kenya. That I am no. Wait a minute. Wait. We all know how court cases work now. Wait a minute. Wait. There are other cases. Wait. That is not the only case in that court. There is no way can you can't give judgment when the trial has not started. His own lawyers, Kano's lawyers, refused the trial to start because they insisted that the arrest is illegal. If you remember that, they insisted. Wait now, wait. Let us take this one after the other. The only argument on that court was about extraordinary rendition. That was the only argument in court then.
judgment was adjourned for 5 months.
Why
There's a
will you
chronology
be
of those things.
surprised? Okay, in Finland, this guy appeared in court only once. They adjourned it till May this year. That is 6 months, if you know.
He's
You
talking
are
about
saying,
Finland. He's
no,
referring Finland.
you are saying that you don't know why they should adjourn it in such a long time. And I have to ask, yeah, then that is what I'm explaining to you. That is why my reply to you is this. It happens. I have a case in court that is still dragging for the past 8 years. I cited an example. Oh, okay, that means what we are arguing here isn't even what you are arguing. All right. Now, okay, let me just make my own submission. Probably we'll get something out of it. Okay. If you ask me, his problem is his lawyers. They are not telling him the truth. Either they told him the truth, but they are trying to hope that they can do some abracadabra and get things done. It's impossible. We all know that since this case started, they've been very dramatic in court continuously, and that was the reason why the trial has not been able to proceed beyond a certain stage. Every time they come up with a different demand, which is normal, your demands will have to be met. I call him for fairness. All right, as long as you are still in detention. Okay, in the first thing they came up with was extraordinary rendition. A second thing, they applied for bail, and then that extraordinary rendition thing came into argument then, where the court actually accepted, agreed with them. Okay, when the court agreed, when I finish, if there's anything you feel is not okay, you can clean it up. But let me finish. Uh, we will only go back to argument. I don't want us to argue. Let me just. They started it from day one. Now, the only reason why that extraordinary rendition thing did not hold, the reason why it did not hold was because Kenyan authorities, all right, good. Uh,
She
because it is
actually
not
did.
a
She
good
actually
thing.
did. She actually
Uh-uh,
did. She actually that the trial was that it is irrelevant, that the trial should continue. That was why they went
exactly,
to that it is irrelevant
exactly.
that the trial should continue.
Now, what I'm trying to say is this. In the case of rendition, the defendant is not the person that brings it to court. It is the country, the authorities from where it happened are the ones that are supposed to bring it to court. It happened between Italy and Egypt. It happened between, I think, Jordan and no, what is Cyprus and Israel. Okay, it has always happened. The state will be the one to bring it on the other state that actually committed it, not the individual facing trial. So they tried it in court. Maybe it was the first time they had a little problem, but Kenyan authorities actually replied that they knew nothing about him. They had no record of him and nothing. That was what switched off that rendition case till today. His lawyers, on the other side, does not come to give the correct feedback to his supporters. That is what the problem I have. When
My
Supreme
brother,
Court,
the case even went to the Supreme Court. They mentioned the
that is
rendition
what I'm
also in
saying.
Supreme Court.
Exactly.
Bros,
It
can I
was
just
doing
contribute?
so. His
Bros,
lawyers, whenever they come out, they only give positive um, feedback to the people that gives it makes them feel that wow, they are doing some work. When Supreme Court gave a stay execution, that means they should continue the trial. This same lawyer did not come back to tell the people, saying this is the reason why and the only reason why Supreme Court did that was because the prosecutor, I am coming, the prosecutor confirmed the fact that he was given bail before he jumped bail. So he cannot be given bail again because there is always fear that he will still jump bail. That was when he said the whole trial turned into the reason why he jumped bail. They started an argument on that it was because they came to kill him, da, da, da. But they clearly stated all the possible things he would have done then. He wouldn't have run out of the country in the first place. Before he even jumped bail, he was already going against all the conditions they gave him, not holding a public meeting and a lot of whole things. He already went against it all. All right. Now his own lawyers are the one giving him wrong ideas to mess things up in court, just to try to truncate the case. The real trial has never begun. There is always drama in court. You don't blame the government as long as he is still in their custody.
Can happen until a limit is reached. A limit must
As
certainly be
long
reached.
as long as he is still in detention,
And possibly it's not the limit for the judges, for the judge. When is the limit? The judge will determine the case, whether he likes it or not.
Bros, I think, brother,
now
please,
back
this
to
is far.
exactly
I think it's my
back
turn.
to what I was trying to say. The main reason why his lawyers and he himself has been fighting all these things, so the case doesn't really go into trial, hoping he will get some kind of house arrest or something, is because his British citizenship is at stake. This is something no one wants to talk about. If that case actually go to trial, even if he's convicted for one day, he loses his British citizenship, and that will force him to remain in Nigeria. So he is relevant because the same problem with this other guy in Finland thinks that a
Bros,
international passport will cover
bros,
you.
bros, can I say something real quick, please, so I can go back to work, please? So
Uh-huh.
I just have 5 minutes, please. Please. No, it's after engineer was speaking. It's after, ask Soma after engineer is me.
So if you
If you're
ask,
working, focus on your work, I beg.
God. So if you ask me, I will say the real problem is his lawyers. They are not telling him the truth. There is no way he will get away with it with all this. What they would have done, mhm, that is what they are trying to do, but it's not going to work.
NWC.
NWC, you're agreeing with me now that he's the one stalling the case. I thought you guys said it was.
Chukudum, let me tell you
But I just
something.
said it here.
Chukudum,
Did
are you
you put
aware
him
that
in
this is
good
a
light?
capital punishment offense? Are you
Bros,
aware?
Kenny is not speaking again.
He's gaining time for himself to find an alternative. That is what he's doing.
That I don't even know how come it's difficult to understand. That is
He's
what
gaining
he's
time
doing.
for himself.
You can do whatever
You
you
can do
want
it
as long as
until a limit.
you are still in
You will get to the
detention.
limit. You are there in detention.
It does not change anything. Okay. I don't know how you see the court system. Okay. I think the other guy that called himself a lawyer wasn't, if he is not really an impartial person, I think he is not an IPOP member, he would have told you the truth. All these things, all the tactics employed, they are employing to get either a house arrest or a complete assumption of the case, or just create one. In fact, they're just trying to find a way out without going through trial. Because if you go through trial, you will either end up with either life imprisonment or hanging or uh but the state is not in a hurry. What are they holding for? He's in detention. Okay, tell me. Let me explain something.
Ndubisi, have you been?
Do you know how many people were in Guantanamo detention center for more than 10 years? Did they ever go to trial? They were all real terrorists.
Where did you convict the
If
person
people were
before?
never convicted, you maybe uh, a lot of members of Boko Haram, the real core ones that are actually real big targets that were all held. How many of them you've heard that went to trial? Ah, nah, at this point, I don't even know how to. Okay, what I
Chukuduma,
understand
can I ask you something? If he's the one that is winning, why is his legal team and his followers consigned that he's there? He's enjoying there. Why are they consigned?
yeah, but that is not how it works now. It will be difficult because when you come to court, all right. Um, yeah, but listen, everywhere. If you were attentive with even Trump's case, the same thing was happening. Okay, Trump. Exactly. So look, I understand what we don't. We are not running a military government. That is the thing. We are not running on the tone as per se, not as per se. The fear, okay, of creating a more unstable. Well,
Bro,
they
sir,
may
bros,
lack
let me,
the willpower, but they are just trying to manage a situation. They are trying to
engineer,
manage a situation here.
engineer,
Okay.
you guys should give me a few minutes. Let me see. You guys should give me a few minutes, please. Let me just say something. Give me a few minutes. Okay.
Everyone uses all tools at their disposal for survival. That is the tool he is using for survival. For survival, it is working for him. It will work to an extent. Not all convictions are with
Ndubisi, the people
outcomes are
stay
happy.
in death row for 30,
Bros,
40
bros,
years.
can I speak now?
People
My this
stay
don't declare
in
now. Can
death
I
row
speak
for
now?
30, 40 years.
Engineer, can I speak now, please? Can I speak? Yeah. Can I go ahead and speak now?
If they, If they release him, there are what they call pardon. He's convicted, is convicted. Somebody can be given, maybe there were evidences that he presented. I've seen it happen abroad too. I've seen people being on the death row for 30-something years.
Bros,
In due time, they are acquitted.
bros, listen, the issue of Finland is number one. You understand? There's a reason why I insist that I want to speak on this.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Thanks for giving me the mic. Okay, so in criminal proceedings, there are two main ingredients that accelerates the prosecution or the proceeding. Two main ingredients: evidence and detention. In criminal proceedings, there are two main ingredients that accelerates the proceeding: evidence and detention. So, for instance, where the suspect is in detention, awaiting trial, it's called remand. The proceeding must be accelerated so that that person is not held arbitrarily in prison. Don't forget that the person is still innocent until the person has been convicted. And so that's why it's necessary to accelerate the proceeding so the person is not held arbitrarily. The other ingredient is evidence. If the evidence is overwhelming, that accelerates the proceeding. And trials can even be conducted in the suspect's absence. For instance, if the suspect is constituting a nuisance in court, the suspect can be taken out of court and a trial can happen ab initio in the suspect's absence. Yeah. So this is standard practice all over the world. Nigeria is no exception. So where Nigeria will not try this fellow, given all kinds of reasons, does not make sense to any legal practitioner in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Really doesn't make sense. Yeah, if Nnamdi Kanu is misbehaving in court, his trial can still happen. And he can be restrained in one way or the other, and his trial will happen. So, considering these two important ingredients that accelerates a trial, one can immediately resolve that the Nigerian government, is holding the man arbitrarily. Because one, this trial ought to have even occurred many years ago if they have sufficient evidence to convict the man. Two, that the man is even held continuously without trial ought to have even accelerated the trial itself. Yeah? Okay, so that's just what I wanted to say. I also wanted to quickly clarify that the Supreme Court Justice, Kaba Mohammed, I believe, Kaba Mohammed, had told the appellate court that there are no provisions of in the Nigerian laws that guides the appellate court to cancel the proceeding, essentially because of abuse of process. So the kidnapping or abduction of Kanu from Kenya is really an abuse of process. Okay, if Kanu was in Kenya and they wanted Kanu, the Nigerian government would have liaised with the Kenyan authority to officially arrest Kanu and start a process of extraditing Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria. The international laws will take preeminence there, and things will be done according to the book. They would have still gotten Kanu to Nigeria. Let me say that again. The Nigerian government would have liaised with the Kenyan government to officially arrest Kanu and start an extradition process back to Nigeria. Nigeria does have an extradition treaty with Kenya. So they could have done that, and they could have done that successfully. Okay. So I do agree with the first instance court dismissing that case on the grounds that the process was abused. Abuse of process grounds is one of the grounds for dismissing cases all over the world, including Nigeria. Then Justice Gaba had his own opinion. In his wisdom, he thought, well, that wasn't grounds for the first instance court to dismiss that case. I do believe that that's enough ground to dismiss the case. Of course, they can still go back and follow the due process, and that does not stop the. Yes, of course. And that does not even stop the prosecution from even filing new charges against him. That does not. Okay, usually it is time spent. Okay, usually it is time spent. So he shouldn't serve another 1 year. He should have already served. When they're handing down the judgment, it should be time spent. So he would have already served this sentence if he was on remand for 1 year. So he would be released immediately. The judgment is handed down. So it's time spent, really. He shouldn't serve any more time in prison. If he had been in prison for 1 year and he was sentenced to 1 year in prison, that should be time spent and he should be immediately released. But I heard somebody said that some people wait on death row for a long time. I hope that person was recognized that those people are waiting on death row for a long time, have been convicted, have been sentenced to death. So they can wait for forever until they are actually even given the wire. I know that happens in America a lot. But if the person has been
convicted by the court of first instance.
Okay.
Some of them are the court of first instance at first.
Yes.
Understand that. That is what Nnamdi Kanu is running away from.
Okay, just a minute, please. Let me finish. So if the person is convicted by the court of first instance, the person's defense lawyers have the right of appeal. And until they lodge that appeal, the conviction or the judgment of the first instance court remains. So that person could be waiting for the punishment to be handed to him. Can be waiting for as long as they feel like keeping him. Okay, so I'm not an American legal practitioner. I'm not an expert there, but the little that I do know. Okay.
Death row.
Okay.
Death row.
Okay, so I know that an appeal does have a suspensive effect, and the judgment of the first instance court is set aside until the appellate court makes a new decision. However, the person will remain on remand except his lawyers, apply for bail for that person. Okay, and the appellate court.
Alphonso, did you say that Mustafa was not pardoned? Are you sure about that? That he wasn't pardoned? Okay, sorry.
Okay,
go
so
on.
well, gentlemen, let me just end here because I got to go to bed. I got work tomorrow. So all I just wanted to say was that I believe that Nnamdi Kanu is held arbitrarily right now. His trial ought to have been completed a long time. Him misbehaving in court is not a grounds for the delay. It's just not a grounds for delay at all. He can be controlled. He can be, restrained in one way or the other. And
can I ask you a question, brother?
And his trial can even happen in his absence if he continues to be a nuisance in court. This happens all the time. Yeah, ask.
The delay that we're talking about, are you aware that the prosecution is ready for the trial and they have never came to court one day saying that they needed time to do one thing or the other, that they are ready at any time the court is set to sit to proceed with trial. Are you aware of that?
Okay, look, any applications, I'm aware of that. Applications that are made, for instance, applications to recuse the judge, applications, any sort of motions that is made on the side during a trial proceeding does not stop the trial itself. That can be done on the side simultaneously while the trial continues, especially if it is not an application that question any of the materials of the trial, except it's an application that question materials of the trial that are necessary to convict that person.
Even an application for recusal does not affect the trial.
No, it shouldn't affect the trial because it is the chief judge of the court that decides whether that judge that the applicant is asked to recuse.
But how can the judge be hearing a case? How can the judge be hearing a case that she's going to recuse herself for?
Okay.
How?
So if you hold on, I will explain to you. Hold on. Don't get aggravated. Just be a little patient. So, for instance, we're in a trial now, and let's say Alphonso is the judge, and Undubisi is the chief judge of that court. Undubisi is Alfonso's boss, and you are the accused, and Dr. Keneke is the prosecution. So, say you ask Undubisi that you think Alfonso is biased, and you don't want Alfonso to preside over this proceeding. Okay, you lodged this application to Undubisi. Okay, so Undubisi will now decide whether Alfonso should remain or whether Alfonso should be replaced by Doggy. Yeah, and so if, for instance, if you lodge this application to Alfonso today, Undubisi will tell Alfonso that Alfonso should adjourn the trial to next week, and then within now and next week, let's say next week Tuesday, then now next week, Alfonso Undubisi will review your complaint, and if he finds merit, he will replace Alfonso with Doggy. And that's that. Okay, so this.
And how can you relate that to what happened in Nnamdi Kanu's case, who he applied to?
Okay, so what we know is that Nnamdi Kanu had made an official request to Undubisi, for example, asking Alfonso to recuse himself.
On the day of recusal? No, oral request in the presence of the court. That's court day.
Okay.
While the trial was going on.
Okay. So you can make an oral request and you can make a written request. Don't forget that every proceeding, protocols of each proceedings must be taken. So anything you say
exactly.
in court, just a minute, please. Allow me to finish. So exactly. So that's it. So if you even make a request in court, all of these are taken on protocol. Okay, and the hearing protocol is there. You made that request. Okay, and the request will be the request will be admitted, sent straight to Undubisi, and Alfonso will have to adjourn the trial for at least a week while Undubisi deliberates on it, and then Undubisi will replace Alfonso with Doggy if Undubisi find your request.
My brother, take it step by step. It was made to Binta Nyako. It was made to Binta Nyako. She accepted it, adjourned the case, and the file was sent to Chief Judge, which is Alphonso now.
Yes.
Alphonso now with all this thing you are taking time. Alphonso now return it back.
Okay.
To the same person.
Okay, just a minute. So everything I just explained to you now is precisely what was done. Okay? And that should not, all I'm trying to say is that should not stop or hinder a trial. It shouldn't. Not for
who will be hearing the trial? Who will be hearing the trial? The same judge that was recused of the case?
Get my point. Get my point. My point is that Nnamdi Kanu misbehavior, and that's what UC Maxwell was trying to explain. If you just exercise some patience and hear him a little clearly, he's saying that nothing should delay a trial, not even Nnamdi Kanu's behavior. It shouldn't.
Better please watch this video and tell me whether if you as in just watch this video I pinned up. This is Nnamdi Kanu to beat Tanyako. So I don't get. I mean, like anyway, unless you guys are saying that he should have called for restraint again. If that happened, I'm sure people will complain to you. But anyway,
to tell you the truth, Dr. Keneke, I'm not saying anything about Nnamdi Kanu itself, because what we are just waiting for is to see where this will end, whether he will be convicted or whether he will be acquitted. I'm not going to say anything
he's
about
playing
that.
a long game. That's why I told
Yeah.
he's playing a long game.
See,
I see it. He's playing a long, which is to his favor, though.
Yeah, and Dr. Keneke, see, what we are saying is that the Nigerian government should not even condone this. They can restrain
So metaphor, you guys are making an argument that I can never agree with. The Nigerian justice system is injustice. Nnamdi Kanu is not the only person suffering. So this sudden moral point when it comes to him alone is what I don't agree with.
No. So
I've had people in prison.
Is it Dr. Keneke, is the precedence that is being set here that is dangerous to Nigeria?
This precedence has been set before Nnamdi Kanu came to prison. The justice system of Nigeria? Are you joking?
Yeah, can I speak now, please?
Okay. Well, let me just end with saying this, that ultimately the Nigerian government are to blame for this, because no form of rascality that anyone can do in a court should twist harm the justice system. It's supposed to be the other way around. So nobody can convince anybody.
Do you know how long Dasuki was held in prison for?
No.
Dasuki was held for 4 years without trial.
That is Nigeria.
4 good years.
That is Nigeria problem. That's the problem in Nigeria. Exactly. It's the Nigerian government you have to blame for this, not the Dasuki guy.
Dasuki was not good. I mean, you can look at case. Dasuki was not going to court shouting that they should transfer his case. Nnamdi Kanu said they should transfer his case.
Yeah,
because
bros, let me just support this a little bit. The issue of recusing ourselves, being Yako recused herself. So someone that has recused herself already, you cannot proceed over a case you recuse yourself. It is illegality on itself, or in itself. You understand? In Nigeria, how the fact that even the Supreme Court stated that he did not jump bail. He even accused the Nigerian government for going his house to kill him. So I'm kind of guy, I don't come here to say what is that everybody want to hear. This is Nigeria, you understand? If you're happy with what's going on in Nigeria, it's fine, it's okay. You understand? In Igbo language, you say, Ogodogeru can go to be here. If you touch one man, go touch everybody. In Nigeria, Uncle Dele did not believe it's going to happen to him. They came to Lagos to kidnap Uncle Dele. You understand? So it will happen to everybody. So that is by the way. I'm not here to romance anybody. I'm not here to preach to love and the canon. No. His that one is left for you and your conscience. So the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, said that Nigerian government went to Kenya to kidnap this man, which is extraordinary rendition, which in itself had ruled Nigeria out of any trial. Number one. So anybody coming
Did
to
the
say
judge,
try,
did the
try.
judge of the Supreme Court say this statement you just made?
Yeah, he said Nigerian government, he accused Nigerian government of extraordinary rendition. The Supreme Court. Listen, and
Thank you. Continue. And what? And what happened?
relax. Once the Supreme Court has made, that's why people were so angry with the Supreme Court. After you made this statement that the guy did not jump bail, number one, he was enjoying his bail before you guys came to kill him in his place. If they come punk you for your house, which you go stay because you enjoy bail, you don't want jump bail, made them kill you. They ended up killing how many people? 28 persons in his compound. It was live, or saw it. If you guys want to behave that want to pretend you didn't see it, you didn't hear about it, it's fine, it's okay.
Continue with the
No,
judgment of the
bro,
Supreme
just
Court. Continue.
allow me speak.
They not kill anybody. Shut up. Now the kind of person only dog they kill.
See,
Now the kind of say they killed Jack. Jack was his dog.
just shout
Doggy,
me
let
Are
him
now.
you the
finish.
owner of
Let
the
him
house?
finish.
Let me talk
I've
now.
put the
Ghana, so
Supreme Court
Let me
judgment.
talk. Let me talk. It's
They
not a
did
thing of
not kill anybody.
You're this
And it was
let me talk
it was
now.
not Ghana
Bro,
and his boys
let
that
me
were the
talk. May
aggressors.
us
Why
like
they were
bro,
attacking the military?
relax
What were they
now. I'm
expecting?
making a point. we're all
Don't come here and
we all
mumble the whole
learned,
thing.
bro. We are all
Why they
learned,
were attacking the military? What were
bro.
they
I
expecting?
cannot be screaming like you like a market woman, bro. I live in America. We live in a civilized world. Listen to me. Let
I
me make my
ask you to
submission.
No,
continue
no, no, no,
reading
no,
the
no, no, no,
judgment.
you know,
Continue
no,
defining the
no, no,
judgment
no,
of the
no,
Supreme
Listen,
no.
Court.
You know, you're living
listen,
maybe you want
listen.
it
Let me
to.
make.
I live in Germany, you
Stop.
idiot.
No,
I live in
bro.
Germany.
You live in a
I live in Germany. How much? I live in
you
Germany,
live in
idiot.
Germany, bro. You still live in a third world world.
Yeah, you live in America. I live
Yeah,
in
you can't
Germany.
compare me and
So
you.
don't come
Just
here and tell
relax,
me bullshit
bro.
about
Just
your America,
let
but
me
you're
make
not
my
America.
submission now, so I won't lose my line of thought. Please, you will
You
talk.
go lose them, bro. If you're
Relax
telling
now,
me that you live in
bros.
America,
Relax,
you go lose that. You go lose that.
relax
No,
now.
no, no, no. You must get into your score that I live in Germany.
Relax
It's
now.
what
It's
is
okay. I
not
know.
about
I agree
that.
with you. You live in
It's
Germany.
dumb
It's
cup.
okay. Let me talk now, please. Can I
No, why
speak?
were you telling me that you live in
It's
America?
okay now,
Who does
bro.
it interest
Okay, no
where you
verse.
live?
I know verse.
Who does
I
it
live in
interest where you
Liberia.
live?
I live in
No, you
Liberia.
want
No
me to
verse.
know where you live? I will show. No, 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 no.
Oh,
You go hear them. You go hear where I live now.
you're a
You go
man
hear
now.
them. You're telling me you live in
Imagine your wife or
America.
your kids. Listen to the way you're screaming like a market woman. You're a
They die
man.
at home. They die at
Imagine
home.
your
They
wife
die at
now. Imagine
home.
your wife
They die at
telling
home.
space now.
They die at
You
home.
hear you
I
talk
die
like,
outside. They
bro,
die at home. I die outside.
picture for a second.
They die
Your
at
wife
home. I
join
die
now.
outside. You
Your
go
wife
hear
just
where I
join
live
now. Hear
today.
the scream like this. Does it make sense? Just relax. Let me talk.
Okay, when your wife come here and hear you talking rubbish, you go there proud of
At
you.
least you will hear that I'm not screaming like a mad person. But you're just making noise.
Okay, good. I go show you madness here now. You go hear, you go see madness here
Let
now.
me
Now.
talk
Oh
now.
yeah, talk now. No, 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 no. You go see madness
Let me
now.
talk
Uh-huh.
now. Let me make
You
my
go see
submission.
madness. Make I show you madness now. Now talk. You
My
go see
submission.
madness. Make I show you madness now. Now talk. You know what talk again? You don't see madness. You don't cool down. Uche ụmụ ụmụ Elohim. Una tisi na only una sabi talk. You guys are not the mad people, eh? You're not the mad people. I am the mad person. No be una the mad. Dara. I don't know kita mo no puta. Unu were ma go na akori. No they talk every rubbish every time. This one now get narrative. Can't talk rubbish here now. That's how they mad. Talk now.
Okay, can I continue
I
now?
go to stop you. I go to stop you. So your time dey over, they go drop
Some
you.
couple of days
If your
ago,
time dey over, they go drop you. You go see madness.
like 3 4 days ago,
Shebi you wan see madness,
the
abi? Shebi you wan see
Fulani
madness, abi?
invaded
You go see madness.
an Igbo land in the
You
Borno
go,
state.
yeah, we know
They
that one, we know
massacred
that
so
one,
many people.
we know that one,
Where
we
is
know
the
that one.
outrage?
Never
Bro,
go you. Now,
it is
when
so
not the kind of people
shameful,
go
man.
to attack military?
I came to
Not the kind of people go to attack military.
I
What
came
were
to
they
this
expect to go
space.
to attack military?
I
All
came
of them go come here and say,
I
they
came to
want to
this
hear, they want
space
to
for
hear.
us to have
Why they were
a
attacking military?
sensible
What were they
conversation.
expecting?
But it's a shameful
Why
thing
you not
that
go talk about that one?
see, it is so
Why
shameful
you not
that
go talk about attack military? Why you not go talk am?
this abnormality is
Idiot.
coming from an Igbo person.
Wait,
It is so shameful. You understand?
go.
It is so shameful that this abnormality is coming from an Igbo person. So shameful. That is the only shame. That is the only shame. Nothing else.
Is it
You
not
understand?
shameful that you're
It
supposed
is
to be a
so shameful.
criminal?
I only
Is
want to
it
make
not shameful that you're here to
I
defend
only
the
want to make
terrorists?
my submission and I will
How
leave. It
shameful
is
is it that you're
shameful.
here to defend the
I don't
terrorists?
know who you are.
How shameful is
You
it?
don't know who I am.
Do
Even
I give a fuck
if you see
about
me in
you?
person, you won't know
Do I
me.
give a fuck about
If I
you?
see you in person, I will
You
not
stay in
recognize you.
America. Who does it interest that you stay in
We
America?
only came here to talk.
Does it
To
interest
make our
me?
everybody have made their own
If you
submission.
like stay in the moon, does it
My
interest that you pay money?
my
You know
submission,
you
my
don't
submission must
You
not.
don't go America now. Make you know so only on the diaspora. No worries.
Doggy, let him lamber on the Supreme Court judgment. Let's hear him lamber. Yes, exactly. We are waiting for him.
Yeah, that is the thing. You can't talk about conclusion when I've not even spoken. When we're talking here, see, this is the problem about Nigeria.
That one is
If we
gone. Let that one go. Continue
if
on the
we
topic.
if we in this little platform, we're not more than we're not even up to 1,000 here. We cannot have a political dialogue, a political conversation without screaming like market women. Does it make sense? How do we live? How do we build a country? How do we build a nation? And we expect the people we elect in National Assembly to pass bills that will favor you and I. When just here, we cannot even pause for a minute. What I'm saying here is like it's just like politics. What I'm saying is not going to be suitable to your ears. Same thing APC is saying. that is not suitable to the ears of PDP and Labour Party. Same thing P2B is doing that is not suitable to APC. It's simple. So what I'm saying here is not going to be suitable to your ears, but it is your level of understanding, maturity, and education that will make you soak in and keep quiet and listen. When it's time for your own submission, you counter everything I've said. It's simple. So back to what I was saying. This case went to all the way to Supreme Court. The first court of the land that gave Nnamdi Kanu bail was the appeal court. That was when Ejiofor was handling the case. See,
Apicon
it
never
was
gave Nnamdi
a
Kanu
late
bail.
registration. Bros,
No,
can you just
Apicon gave him
bros,
bail.
can you just shut up?
No,
I'm not going to punish you.
no, don't tell us what is obviously lie.
Just shut up your mouth and make I
Tell
talk
us.
now. Then shut for you the case. If you see me go fit over
At
the
the
talk your mouth.
case,
If you
Apicon
see me
didn't
go fit
give
talk,
him
you
bail.
want check now. I go slap you the case. I go slap you go chop grass. I dey talk you dey talk. Just think let me talk. Are you mad? Then shut for
Oh,
for me.
the
Then shut
time
for
I
you.
check out, I say,
Let me talk in the match the
who are
case.
you?
Nice
Who the fuck are
breaker.
you? Who the fuck
Let
are
me
I
you?
talk
don't
now.
lie.
Because
Now you there,
animal.
Continue.
la.
Okay. Binta Nyako granted Nnamdi Kanu bail. They gave him a strict bail condition not to be in the gathering of 10 or more persons. Yeah, it was Binta Nyako that that granted him that bail. It was Binta Nyako. Do your research, Google. It was Binta Nyako that.
That is true, but not appeal court.
You say what? So Binta Nyako granted him bail. He went back to. Am I coming out clear? Okay, Binta. It was this same Binta Nyako. She has been the one on the case since day one. It was this same Binta Nyako that granted him bail, but they gave him a
So
strict bail condition.
Binta Nyako granted him bail, but today she's a bad woman. You see,
What
like,
can you come make I that's the problem? Make I talk now, God Almighty. Hi.
Sorry for interrupting.
Binta Nyako granted him bail. He gave him a strict bail condition that he shouldn't be seen in more than 10 persons, with more than 10 persons. So he went back to Afri Beku. He started moving around eastern part of Nigeria, which they claim he has flaunted his bail condition. But if there's anything, if Nigerian government felt he has flaunted his bail condition, you go back to the courts to revoke the bail, send him back. But what did they do? The military invaded his hometown. They killed even his cousin, killed his dog. All these things are in open domain. You can Google it. You can search for the video on YouTube. It's there. I'm not cooking all these things up. It is there. But if we are here, we want to sound like we didn't know all these things, it's fine. It's okay, no problem. They killed 28 persons in his house, including his cousin's sister. They killed a dog in his house. Nnamdi Kanu flew away. He ran to after like a year. The next thing, everybody thought he was dead. We saw him. I'm just narrating how everything happened. After a year, what we saw him was at the Western Wall in Jerusalem. He appeared there. So ever since then, he ran away for his life. So now, back to the case, bros, this is what I'm telling you now. You can go ahead and do your research, Google it. So after then, he has been in Europe. Then Nnamdi Kanu went to Kenya. Nigerian government got a tip that Nnamdi Kanu is in Kenya. They went to Kenya without following the due process. What is the due process? The due process is if you want to extradite anybody, it's through courts. You go to the court process. But the thing is, even though Nigeria has an extraditing treaty with Kenya, but it's not something you do in 1 to 6 months. It takes long because the case you fight it there. But the kidnapping, which is called extraordinarily rendition. So they renditioned him from Kenya, blindfolded him to Nigeria. These things are facts. I am not cooking this thing up. Whether you like Nnamdi Kanu, you don't like Nnamdi Kanu, what we are talking about here is judicial rascality. What Nigeria is doing, we should condemn it. So now, they brought him back to Nigeria. After the whole thing and everything, the case went to Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court now narrated everything I told you here, that Nigerian government, lambasted Nigerian government, the Nigerian government shouldn't have gone to Kenya to do what they did in the way they brought Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. Number one. Number two, he accused Nigerian government, Nigerian military, it was specific. He accused Nigerian military, the Supreme Court, that he went to kill a man in his house. In the process, you killed 28 people. This guy was enjoying his bail. So that was when they were making the case of he jumped bail, he jumped bail, he jumped bail. So the Supreme Court said he did not jump bail. I didn't ask you, going to kill me, I run. How did I jump bail? So now, the fact that the Supreme Court has mentioned that word, extraordinary rendition, that has ruled Nigeria out of trying Nnamdi Kanu in any court. Nigeria has no jurisdiction.
This
No
is where
court,
my
no
question
court,
coming.
no
Did the
court,
Supreme
no
Court
court of law.
say
Like now, let me
this?
I want to land. No, the fact that the extraordinary rendition in Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria, that has ruled out the jurisdiction of any Nigerian court to try,
Is it the
even the appeal
proclamation
court,
of the Supreme Court?
even the appeal court.
Is
In
it the...
fact, let him finish, Michael. Let him
My
finish.
God.
I
Even
mean, I don't know what
even
to
the
say.
appeal court made this judgment as well that no court in Nigeria has the jurisdiction to try Nnamdi Kanu. So there will be no trial in this case. And to the
Appeal
case
Court
of
judgment is
and to the
invalid
case
as
of
far as Supreme Court is
and,
concerned.
and to the case
Michael,
of
Forget
Michael,
about
hold
appeal
on.
and to
Let's
the
court.
issue
wait.
of
Michael,
and to
we'll
the
read the
issue of
Supreme Court ruling.
and
We'll
to
read
the
the
issue of
Supreme Court.
Binta and Yako, you can anybody here when we talk we don't argue because we want to argue. We learn. Even if you have case tomorrow, you have the right to ask the judge to recuse him or herself. If you feel you're not comfortable, you're not going to get a pleasant judgment, or you feel a threat of bias from any judge, you have the right. And in the case of Binta and Yako, it's documented. She recused herself from this case, which made it illegal for her to still be in that case. You understand? There are so many judges in Nigeria. Why not hand that case over to the other judge? And the fact that Nnamdi Kanu has written to NJC that this woman should recuse herself from this case, you cannot go ahead and try the case. You cannot even, Nigeria has no jurisdiction to even try the
You
case.
guys don't know what you're saying.
You have to take Nnamdi Kanu back to
He wrote
Kenya.
to NJC. What did the NJC reply
You
to
have to
him?
take him back to Kenya. You understand? That's
These
what it
guys
is.
Yes,
And
Nah, you
ignorant.
guys live in
I
cuckoo,
use my
Ignorant.
cuckoo
mic here.
land. Cuckoo land.
Thank you. So, Michael, let me just read out the Supreme Court
This guy's
judgment.
an
So let's
ignoramus.
stop all this. Let's hold on. Let's the Nigerian Supreme. This is from the AP, so you know it's not like Nigerian Supreme Court ruling Friday overturned a lower court ruling dismissing terrorism charges against a popular separatist leader whose trial has been blamed for an outbreak of violence in the country's southeast region. The court said Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra separatist group that seeks independence from Nigeria's southeastern region, still faces terrorism charges despite the lower court ruling. Khan, who also holds British citizenship, has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Now, this one, I wonder what metaphor was saying. He doesn't even know the reader, but he likes to bluster and hubris. In announcing the decision, Justice Garba Mohammed, you heard that name, said, although this is where there's an argument, Nigeria's secret police violated Kanu's right during his arrest and extradition from Kenya in 2021. The Court of Appeal was wrong to rule in October last year, that's 2022, that the violation was grounds for dismissal of the charges. So the Supreme Court disagreed. They agreed that his right. I mean, I agree with it that the way they brought him was wrong. The Supreme Court agreed, but he now said no legislation in the country stripped the trial court of the jurisdiction to go ahead with Kanu's case, despite the illegal action of the secret police. The justice said the trial of the separatist leader who holds British citizenship is expected to resume next year. Kanu has remained in detention since the Court of Appeal ruling. The Supreme Court further complicates the Supreme Court decision further complicates the fate of Kanu, who has been in and out of jail since 2015 when he was first arrested and charged with terrorism and treason. He has denied any wrongdoing, and his supporters have accused the government of unjustly targeting him to clamp down the group's separatist campaign. The IPOC campaign for an independent state. Okay, this one is not important. Let me go to the next paragraph. He says, okay. There's nothing to read there, just stories, history about IPOP. So I just wanted to read that out for people to come and say, oh, there was some form of Supreme
Imagine
Court
the
said.
guy that just spoke said
Oh,
they said extraordinary rendition. They
okay.
said the
So I
manner
just wanted to read that.
he was
Michael,
brought here was wrong, but in as much as that happened, he has a
that was
case to answer.
grounds. Yeah, so Michael, make I just finish with this. So the issue of NJC, I mean, my uncle was a retired judge of the Federal High Court, High Court Abuja. NJC NJC has a lot to do with judicial indiscipline. So Kanu writing to the NJC does not need to does need to listen to Kanu's appeal. If there's no case of corruption against Bitanyako, you cannot say the woman doesn't like you. That's not enough. It's the same woman that gave you bail. So I don't know why they are mentioning the NJC. That doesn't make any sense. The NJC does their own review and they can throw away. There are many cases against judges. A judge can give me a bad ruling and I can write a petition to the NJC and nothing will happen because you've not substantiated your case. Then the issue of recusal, Bintanyako did recuse herself orally. She made a recusal, but when she went to say, oh, this is the case file, when she submitted to Justice Soho, And Justice said, no, there should be a written application. Like I said earlier in this room, the problem with Kanu is one, his hubris. Kanu should get a senior advocate of Nigeria. All those lawyers he's handling, slapping them, they're not telling him the truth. He needs a senior advocate. I'll tell my friend, if you don't sit down, do this case is going nowhere. But, let's all be clapping for the man. I yield.
This one was
Where
sleeping.
is the fab guy now? He left.
Another thing is, Nnamdi Kanu himself gave a report on how many people were killed in his house. Nnamdi Kanu was talking about Jack. He made a broadcast when he was saying Jack was killed, they killed Jack, they killed Jack, they killed Jack. Jack was the only person that the Kanu talked about. Later, I started saying they killed 28, they killed 38, they killed 3 million. Was it your house they went to? And what led to them going to the house? You know, none of you saying it. Hidden the Kanu's voice, attacked the military. When you attack the military, what do you expect the military to do? To clap for you? Maybe they will go home and cook up on soup and do gari for you and bring it for you to start eating. Attack them, you guys will only come here and talk rubbish as if we were not here when that thing happened. It was on video. They even video this. It was them that even put it on the YouTube at that particular time when they were gloating over it. Look at what they did to military. Look at what they did to the military. I was telling the guys with me at that particular day, say military, the way on the way on attack, so they will come back. I told them they will come back, and they did come back. And now they can't run away. Now they kind of planned it himself. I'm dead sure now they kind of planned it because he wanted to run away. Look up here now,
Nobody's talking. Bring up the Kanu
I
supporters
don't
now.
know.
Bring them up.
Where is the fab guy now? I thought he was supposed. I wanted to ask him a lot of questions. I don't know. So I think just talk all the rubbish, finishing run. Okay.
Bring up the Nnamdi Kanu supporters. Let's know again. Like, why would you even want the judgment? I mean, this is his lawyer, our lawyer Chimako, put out an appeal to move the case from Abuja to the southeast or the south, and they should listen to that. So, if they say let's try that, they appeal. They go to High Court, appeal, Supreme Court. Supreme Court will say no. Those things. What kind of ridiculous things are those? Like, anyway.
Wait, Keneke, I have a question. So if Nnamdi Kanu keeps doing this thing he's doing, if in the next 10 years it will just be like that, is that what you're trying to say?
So let me tell
Like
you.
the court will not have
So,
any
so,
right
so
to
I
do
agree
what
with
it has to
Alphonso.
do. That's where I'm coming from.
He's been a smart person. Now he's been a smart person. There will be a political solution to this. I'm telling you, they're going to release him. I know that some people might not be happy, but he might be released. Tinubu will release this guy. Hey, this will don't close with my salad though. Hey, I don't die. God help me. Oh.
So you see, Keneke, so you see, that's why I'm upset with the government. This thing
Me,
you're
I'm more than
saying now,
upset. These people close
because
with my
that's what
salad.
will
I'm not
happen.
going to eat. Oh,
You can't get to eat in that the Kanu this next. I feel that.
I'm doing a I did a diet program, man. And
If Tinubu release and God will punish Tinubu.
Ducky
If Tinubu
is going
release
to
and
release him.
politically,
He's going
God
to
will
I
release
punish
him.
Tinubu.
don't.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Doggy, I'm
You just be
waiting
If
for
talking.
that
Tinubu
time.
release and God will
You just be
punish and God
talking.
will
Doggy, I
punish.
am waiting for that time that Tinubu will release it because me, I'm interested to see what you will do to Tinubu. You, Doggy. I'm
You
waiting
will
for
see
this
me
that time.
campaign against Tinubu now. I've been saying it openly
See,
now. If Tinubu ever do, unless in a court release him, Tinubu give him presidential pardon. It's done. In the
I
mad,
doubt.
with the
I
warrior.
doubt. I doubt.
But
I
Doggy, I
doubt
said
Tinubu will
send a
release
court
him.
release them. What if Tinubu induces the court to release Amunko?
I doubt
If na
Tinubu
court
will
release him,
release
I have
him.
nothing against Tinubu. If na Tinubu release him presidential pardon.
No,
Okay.
it might not be
Now
presidential
God
pardon,
go
but
punish
we
him.
know the politics that they will play there. There will
If
be Tinubu
court release
undertone through
him,
the court.
if court release him, I have nothing against him. When I court release him.
Uh,
After all, under Buhari, he was released. Then they appealed it. They went to Supreme Court
See,
and they still held him there.
what to me, I feel I doubt Tinubu will release Nnamdi Kanu.
I have 100% doubt. At least during this first tenure, I don't think we would release Nnamdi Kanu. Probably during the second tenure, I seriously doubt, and I have my reasons for that.
If you no release am for first tenor, forget it. If you no release am for this first tenor, forget it, because second tenor he has nothing to lose.
And when is that?
Do you
When he
know? Do you
wants the
know why?
second tenor now, before the second tenor, he will now release him to gain votes for the second tenor.
No. What's going to happen is this: Tinubu does not. I don't think it's even factoring Southeast votes in his next re-election. I'm sure it's factoring more of the Northern votes. So I don't think we will release Nnamdi Kanu this first tenor, because he's looking at the politics behind releasing Nnamdi Kanu. He's not going to release that guy. That guy is going to spend on that 3 years in prison or 2 years. I'm definitely sure about that. He's going to be in that prison.
I wish he spent his life there. I wish he dies in jail.
He's going to be
That's my
there.
wish.
He's going to be there, and the kind of and for them to even give Nnamdi Kanu a political solution, the conditions they would give him, the stringent conditions that Tinubu would tie on that guy's head, even no Nnamdi Kanu, based on his arrogance and everything, I don't think he will want such stringent conditions that they will give him for there to be a political solution. So seriously, I seriously doubt that Nnamdi Kanu is going to come out. At least I know the next 2 years he will be there. That one I'm very definite about that. Tinubu is looking at some votes, and he knows that releasing that guy would arouse some kind of this anger in some court, in some judgment that's in this space now. I'm having network issues. I don't know.
I can hear you, so I
Okay.
think nobody is talking anymore. That Fab guy, he has been
Let's
writing a lot of things
let's
on
pass
his
the mic. Let's
timeline.
pass the mic to Doggy, please.
Dr. CJ Chichalot, let's pass the mic. Yeah, I'll be laughing. Nah, let's pass the mic.
Wait, let me just say something. All I want to say is this: whatever
I
Nnamdi
fight
Kanu
with
is
I
going.
poor people now. I forgot about my salad. Everything I could chop.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it happens. So
I tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is bad luck everywhere. You know, it don't make me forget my food.
Now your diet plan now that you're on is going to be messed up. Sorry.
So the thing is this. The thing is this. I have no sympathy for Nnamdi Kanu at all. He can be raving like a mad lunatic in the court. No, I don't really care. In short, he shouldn't experience the way he's made an entire region to be sitting at home. It's calm actually dealing with him where I think he was depriving the Southeasterners of our freedom of movement. So now he knows how he feels for his own freedom to be deprived. So whenever I see any of his supporters coming to act as if and talking about the rule of law, where we are there when the girl was actually breaking the rule of law when it comes to people's freedom of movement in an entire region. All of them kept quiet, and now they're now trying to act like human rights activists. Do they know the meaning of being a human rights activist? So whatever is facing in that dungeon or DSS cell or whatever, he brought it upon himself. So all he can do right now is to keep on ranting. That is all he can do. And
The
before,
thing is,
I think there was this senior advocate of Nigeria that was part of his legal team. I think that was Michael Zekome. I don't know what happened to that Michael Zekome. How the guy just left being one of his, and he was the head of his legal team. Probably he was actually telling Nnamdi Kanu the process of how these things works, and the guy was not thinking in the right direction. Nnamdi Kanu, and the guy just handed over the whole matter to this Aloy Ejimakor, and that one has shown that he's very, very inexperienced. How can you come to the court of law and you see Nnamdi Kanu actually acting like the lawyer, talking and ranting, while the other people will be at his back as if they are the defendant? What will be now be touching someone and telling me don't talk while I'm talking? So all those guys I'm seeing that have on his legal team, probably they just like the idea of just being in front of camera, just showing their face. Maybe they're trying to market themselves or something for future cases. The proper people that should actually give him legal counseling, I don't think he listens to them. And that is the problem he's having. Because how can someone like a Mike or Zekome that was on his team, nobody knew how that guy just left the team for no reason. The guy just disappeared. I'm sure he felt he couldn't handle a lunatic like Nnamdi Kanu. Because if you tell him the right thing to do, he'll be saying that he wants to do his own thing. Nnamdi Kanu, what he has done, automatically he has made himself a judge, jury, and even a lawyer on his own case. comes, he accused people of corruption and all kind of stuff, personalizing the issues. And now he has now brought this to himself. He will be there for a very long time. He doesn't know the way Nigerian legal system works. I'm sure those people that have been working with them, Tinubu, to actually get him, when they listen to him rant today, they'll just be like, man, this guy is not someone that we can release. It's like a loose cannon. I'm sure they'll maintain themselves. All those people are actually looking for a political solution for him. I'm sure deep down themselves now, they'll be tired. And I hope no Southeast
No,
politicians go about
Chinonso,
begging
it's
on
not
his
even
behalf
about being
anymore.
tired. It's not even about being tired. As soon as any moment he suits their political benefits, they will release him. Maybe it's not
The thing
time
is
yet.
this.
Anytime it
The thing
suits
is
their
that
Wait,
political benefit,
that,
they will let
that's
him
what
go.
I'm saying.
Dr.
He doesn't
CJ, you
suit.
that is saying, Dr. CJ, you that is saying that when they release him now, that everything in the southeast will stop.
You know,
Does Nnamdi Kanu
I made I
Ezonyagwalam
made
look like anybody
I
that
made
would take
my
advice or
submission
counsel
is
from
my
any of
submission
his?
was for dialogue. My submission was dialogue because at the end
That's
of
what
the
I'm
day,
saying now.
dialogue
The
has to
Nnamdi
happen.
Kanu you saw today, does he look like someone you can sit down and have a dialogue with?
I mean,
That is what I'm
Let's
saying.
somebody
tell
can
ourselves the
be.
truth.
Omar, you see what happened between me and Doggy today. You know, this is like I apologize to Doggy at the end of the
That
day.
we
Dialogue
we
at
know.
the end
We
of the
also
day.
know Nnamdi Kanu from the things he does. Look at him today. Does he look like someone
No,
who will
I mean
actually sit
it
down
actually starts from talking now. It actually
and
starts
have
from
a
talking.
that's what no
Yeah,
be talking talk
that's
today for court. Was it
no,
it
but
was
today,
talking.
I mean,
Did you see
nobody's.
the way he
Is there
was
anyone
convincing?
dialogue? Is there anyone dialoguing
Eh,
with him right now at the moment? Is there are there like stakeholders actually really talking to this
wait,
guy
before
and
Nnamdi
having a
Kanu got to
communication
the
with this
point
guy?
where he went to, you think he didn't have dialogue with? I thought they said he met governors and all. Do you think people were not talking to him and he didn't listen? All those
The
scenarios
thing is
played
this.
out, CJ. All those scenarios played out.
The,
And you guys,
the thing is, Nnamdi Kanu is a very, very arrogant person, he always does this thing whenever it comes to the court, and his lawyers knows him. That's why they just stand at his back like choir boys and just keep quiet.
No,
Even when it was,
the thing about the political
even when it was
situation is a lot of people will not like it about the political solution. A lot of people will not like. A lot of
there
people will
is
be angry. But
there is no
any
political
day
situation for
is the
Nnamdi
truth of
Kanu.
them. Let
That's
me
just
tell
it.
you, this is Nigeria. Any day it suits their political game, they will release him. Any day it suits their political
What
game,
I'm
they will
saying
let him
right
go.
now, we listen to me.
You guys don't know
We that are in
Nigeria.
Nigeria, I'm trying to say we that are in Nigeria know what's happening, what is playing out right now. Nnamdi Kanu does not suit the political equation for Tinubu at this point. I'm telling you that he
That's
doesn't
why I
suit it.
said
or
anytime it
any other
does,
person for
anytime,
that matter,
yeah, that's what
or
I'm telling you.
any other
Anytime it
person,
does suit their, they know how
Or
to
any
twist
other
things.
or any other
see and
person. So it doesn't suit anybody. It's
they
just a bad case.
exactly that guy is just like a forbidden fruit, and nobody's even taking him serious. Just probably some of the Southeast politicians, but probably they want to play politics with Nnamdi
Okay,
Kanu.
so
So
why do you think that Soludo went to visit him? Wasn't it for
when
political
Soludo,
benefits? Wasn't it for
let me
political
tell you,
benefits?
and that was a mistake
That is
Soludo
it.
made, actually going
For
to go and
to
see him, because he seated.
you think it's a mistake. To him, he knows what he's doing.
See,
He
no,
believes that seeing
it doesn't.
this guy would give him some kind of
And
leverage.
did he work?
Would
And
yeah,
did he give and did he
well,
give and did he give and did he give him any leverage? No. What Soludo did, he handed over Anambra people's mandates to someone in Abia State called Nnamdi Kanu. That's what he did. And since then, Anambra State has not gotten security. We elected Soludo to go and scope insecurity, but he came and started talking like as if he's siding with
So
IPOB. How can the
it
governor
might be
comes
a
and be telling
mistake.
us it was a
Soludo
big
might have
time
made a
mistake?
mistake, or maybe made a mistake. He made a mistake, but did he do it? He did it because he felt that his own calculation made him feel
And
like
it
yes,
Who's
this
backfired.
guy could fail.
And
So
it
yeah,
Soludo
backfired.
didn't deal with him.
any
Yes,
other. What I'm saying
Soludo
yes,
didn't
he
is,
deal
met.
with
what I'm
him
saying
today.
is, no. What I'm saying is, he made that mistake. Any other politician again can still make that
See,
mistake.
the people that are
These are Nigerian politicians. They do anything.
see,
They can do
see right now.
anything for
CJ,
anything. I'm telling
you
you guys.
also
Exactly.
forget that if there is pushback from we too from the southeast, the governors cannot do all those things. We have been very
The
quiet.
thing is that the thing. Yeah, the thing is
When
this.
there's
The
a
thing is that there
pushback,
are
they can't
some.
do all those things.
the thing is that
You know,
the
everything in
Southeast
Nigeria
politicians
is
think
anything in Nigeria. I believe at this level is politics. It's going to end in politics. You guys will see. Well,
we know that one. No, I'm not saying that Nnamdi Kanu will not be released. He's going to be released in future. I don't know who's going to release him. Probably, I won't feel that if someone like even Atiku Abubakar probably was the president, maybe his chances of being released would have been more higher or something like that. Initially, I haven't thought that Tinubu would release him. I'm sure that was the thinking of all of us. Probably anybody that becomes president after Buhari would probably have released him. But the way it is right now, from what I'm seeing,
Tinubu will not release him until he suits Tinubu's political
and
ambition.
that's what I'm saying.
We
And
know
I said in the
Tinubu
next 2 years,
how he has operated.
it's not going to.
He has not operated in a way that he thinks anybody. Once you suit, even if you're a criminal, once you
We were
suit his
also telling
political
him
ambition,
that we don't see him suiting any political position, any political whatever right now.
It
With the
doesn't
way
suit
things
his.
have, the IPOB has messed up a lot of things. They don't fit into any political anything now. They don't anymore.
You see, sometimes I won't feel there's a pattern to Nnamdi Kanu's arrogance in the courts. He's ever since they arrested them, Simon Ekpa, who knows? He's getting more vulgar and arrogant in court. Probably because maybe Simon Ekpa was actually working for him on the background with his insecurity and all. Now that he's arrested and everything, he's not trying to
there is
push
something
this way.
someone
I
said
don't just know
here.
what.
There is something someone said. I can't remember who said that, but he said about that kind of attitude, about using that kind of attitude to send a message. I mean, we're all online. We see what that has cost. We see how this whole thing is trending all over the Nigerian media
TJ, you are the
space.
one that is looking
And
at it like a right message. Is sending the wrong message. Let
no,
me
no, I'm not
no
saying
TJ,
it's a
let me
right
explain.
message.
Wait,
Listen,
TJ, let me
Oma,
explain
just give me
why.
one second, I beg. Let me tell you. Let me just give you my direction. What I'm saying this is the people that support him would you see them saying yes, the lion has did this, the lion has done that. So even those ones that are beginning to maybe cower a little are beginning to feel like, oh, if he's still standing, why will I cower?
No,
Oh, if this guy is still having, so this is the thing. It's a message indirectly sending out to those
TJ, let
people
me
who
tell you why
can.
that message is wrong. When he started, he whipped up a lot of emotions, and a lot of Igbo people were with him until they turned against their own. So now the people that are against them are more than the people that are with him. So the more he sends that message, the more he's losing confidence and losing all those sympathy and whatever from the Igbo people too. Because they're like, your people are killing us. We're complaining about it. Your body language is like encouraging them to kill us the more. And then more people will turn up against them. So they're not gaining any grounds anymore.
the guy
All
just
of us,
the
before,
guy is
everybody was
frustrated.
sympathetic. But right now, everybody has lost every sympathy for them. Nobody wants to associate with them anymore.
Nnamdi Kanu is just
So
frustrated and he's displaying it in the court. That is all I see. I see the rant of a frustrated man. Nobody's going to come to his aid. Once he has been there for a long
We
time,
know that
his head will clear.
If Nigeria wanted to jail him, speed up the trial, they would have done it. That one is a fact. They will have done it. If the Nigerian government wanted to speed up this trial and put him away, they will have done it. The problem is, why are they not doing it? Why is it taking so long? 4 years, okay, this is the fourth year now or so. I mean, and this thing is costing people a lot of, I mean, the people of the South is a lot. It's costing them a lot. Why, why dragging the trial? Why allowing all this media for somebody you consider to be a terrorist? You
CJ, in
bring
as
out
much as I
Boko
blame the
Haram.
government, it's both ways too. Even Nnamdi Kanu claims he loves his people and he
Now,
has seen the things
now,
that are
now, now,
happening.
now, the thing they cost me get tonight for me, I don't
Won't he
get it.
also try
The more
to
you feel that the more
make
Shibuna,
more
sure that
see,
people
his
go
people
come.
have
do you guys see how the DSS are pampering him? They pamper him. It's like when they go into that DSS cause it's like they're even there gisting. and having it's like they
It,
pamper him. It's
it,
like he's one
That's
of
what
their
I'm
it
guy
saying.
now.
became
All of
fresh
you that
now.
you are saying he loves the Igbos, he's fighting for us. If he loves Igbos so much and all these things are happening, won't you try to look for ways to cut short all these court processes and look for what to do so that whatever that is happening will stop? But he's having fun there, so he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
So he even has opportunities to meet with his family.
Exactly.
Sometimes
So
the
why would he?
wife,
Why
the
would he
kids.
care?
So
Yeah. So why would he care?
uh,
But
there's
you
a
guys claim that he
political
loves us. He loves
there's a
Igbo
political
people.
this thing to it. What I'm saying
He's
is
also
the
playing the
Nigerian
politics with them. He is
the
also playing the
Nigerian
politics with
yes,
them.
yes.
And so you can't
The
be fighting for me and you're playing politics with people's lives. Then you're a
Now,
terrible
God.
person. You
Nnamdi
are
Kanu is a terrible
terrible.
person. Is a terrible person. That one is a fact. He doesn't care. He only cares about himself. He cares for nobody else.
Just like the politicians that
Ex-
I think right now he's talking to. Because he's
exactly.
talking to them. If he's not talking to them and they're not talking to him, he won't have this. There's this confidence, this arrogance, this
Look, no,
Nigeria,
normally,
Nigeria.
Nnamdi Kanu is a very, very arrogant person. No matter the situation, whether they're even begging on his behalf or they're not begging on his behalf, he's a pure arrogant person. He even said that they should stop even begging on his behalf. He has come to court before, and
you guys are saying he doesn't care. Nnamdi Kanu has never cared for Igbo. He has always cared for his side.
exactly.
It's always about him. He never cared for us. Oh, stop that.
Someone that came to the court one time and said that they should give him they should release him under 2 minutes that will bring security to the southeast. That who in the southeast can be talking while he's talking. Imagine the arrogance. So he's trying to say that our governors are irrelevant. People that were elected are irrelevant. That is more relevant than them. That if he comes out, nobody dares talk. This kind of person that use all this kind of arrogance rhetoric in the court, and you feel someone like us should take him seriously. Don't worry, the court process is just starting.
I just will
Once
not
you
be surprised that he is in bed with the Nigerian state. That's just it.
I am
They are
not
all in.
see. I am
I
not.
will be
I don't want to. I don't like believing all this. So somebody's in Nigerian payroll, all those kind of agendas that always lead to
no,
people being
no, it
seen as
happens. No,
saboteurs.
no, no.
It's not
It
really
happens,
bad.
bro. It happens, though.
It's
It
not really
happens.
bad. It's in
It's
game. Not no bad.
the same
I
thing they
tell you
accuse
so.
Simon
I'm
Ekpa
just
of.
saying that.
They'll
I'm
say
just
Simon
saying
Ekpa is
I
in
would
bed with
not be
government.
surprised. No, I'm just saying I would not be surprised
He's not. Look,
if
he's
it
I
not.
will be
happens.
surprised.
I will
I
not.
will be surprised.
He's not in any bed with the
I
government,
tell you so.
and the government are not in bed with him. They are trying to deal with him the way they seem fit, and that is why he's
But then
still there.
again, he's not the first to be in a situation like this in Nigeria. He's not.
Will not be the last, and that's the truth.
So
He's not.
that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, the people that have come before him, not all of them died. Uh-huh. The most recent one didn't die. He's still there in Owerri. So
Life,
that's
whatever
the thing.
happened to him, one man cannot be bigger than the state. Whatever happens to him, life goes on. That's what he doesn't understand. So maybe he feels it's so relevant that whatever happens to him, probably he feels something will born, nothing will born. So just make news for some couple of period and before everybody move on with their life. That's what he should understand. Let him go and read history and see other people that are even more prominent than him, that has more influence than him, that have gone through the same thing he's going through, and still Nigeria moved on. So maybe he gives himself some level of significance that he doesn't have. So sometimes when I watch him in court, I just see someone that is very, very arrogant, someone that has refused to learn, listen, or even unlearn. And most of his lawyers, I don't know where they are. I just see there's some bunch of inexperienced people that just stay quiet and just watch him continue his story.
I do not even think his humility should even change anything. The law should be the law, and the law should take its course on him. If you know, so him coming and being sitting there and not saying anything. I mean,
You
it
know,
shouldn't change.
the
Like,
funniest thing I heard on this space today was that he's afraid to lose his British passport. Eh? Eh?
The same,
You are
the
fighting
same
for
British that
Biafra.
is
You are
always.
holding on to your British citizenship.
Yeah.
Wow. Can't you guys just see the contradiction? As in, I don't get. You are fighting
That
for Biafra.
mm.
You are holding tight to your British citizenship. You don't want to lose it. But you want to convince me that you are fighting for Biafra. No, drop the British citizenship. I know that you don't have anything. When your hand is empty, you are ready to take another thing. Drop it. Come and fight for the Biafra. Come back to Nigeria. Drop it. Become a Nigeria. Then fight Nigeria for your Biafra. You see what these guys do? He's holding on to his all this court process, everything he's doing. He doesn't want to hear story, about that his British citizenship, but you want to convince me that me, I should scatter Nigeria, the one that I have, my Nigerian citizenship, I should scatter it. You are fighting for Biafra for me, but your own British citizenship, you are holding it.
We've also
Ah,
seen, we've also
Nnamdi Kanu
seen,
is
we've
an
also
evil
seen
person.
one of the presidential aspirants of one of the major political party in Nigeria, one of the biggest uh, political party in Nigeria,
Okay.
in the person of Omoyele Sowore, defend and also submitted that he shouldn't be tried. There's no base. There are no basis for any trial. That's what Sowore is saying. Sowore was there today.
One
But
of the
you know,
biggest.
you understand, you understand.
Please,
My first
DJ, who is
answer to
Showore again? In the scheme
is
of things,
DJ.
I need to
But but
understand.
but
He's one of the most prominent. Is he
DJ,
not one of the most
DJ,
prominent?
Muna got to go
Most
mad.
he's
prominent
Don't
not
by
spoil
he's
it.
not
where? By what
he's
standards?
not
Don't spoil it.
How?
he's not prominent.
We didn't hear
Hello.
you for a minute, but you're back now. We didn't hear
Yeah.
you.
So what I'm
You went.
what I'm saying that so when was actually being arrested and tried by Nigerian legal system, he was actually adjudged to be a prisoner of conscience by international bodies. The same way Fela Nicola Pokuti was declared the prisoner of conscience then by the same international body. I think that was the last person that was declared a prisoner of conscience. That was Fela then. Then so also became a prisoner of conscience. But now they can nobody has actually declared him so because they know deep down that this guy has committed atrocities and he's supposed to face his crimes. So most times when I see one of this his supporters always coming here to try to make the guy look like 1 cent or something, I just laugh. He's going to go through that his trials and he's going to go through it the
You
way
know,
that he has
I
been causing
intentionally
drama in the
brought up.
media.
Nnamdi Kanu is evil. He's a wicked person. You want to come and destroy the southeast, and then those people, when you destroy the southeast, they have nothing to
E-
fall back on. But you, if
Exactly.
anything happens, you have your British citizenship to fall back on, and you guys can't see through this selfishness.
Okay.
Wow.
You know, so many years ago, Dr. Damages, interviewed him, and sometimes I start to reflect on some of these things, and it starts making sense to me now. Where he said something like, Somalia will be better than Nigeria. You know, sometimes when I reflect on these things, at some point I thought it was like it was nothing. But you see, somehow we're drift, or let me say, southeast is gradually drifting towards that direction. And it's very unfortunate. Sure, I don't know. Sure, with his body language, has always wanted Nigeria to go in flames somehow. Maybe he feels that that is going to help his political ambition, or that is going to help him propel him to be the Mandela of Nigeria, or you know, the Malema of Nigeria, or Sankara.
Wait,
So
Dr. CJ, I need to understand. When you say that Nnamdi Kanu said that Somalia will be better than Nigeria, right? How, in what terms are you talking about it? Is it that the prophet has prophesied and now look at what is happening, or
no, what I'm
I
saying,
will
okay,
make sure that that southeast, and then it's
yes,
happening
it's
today.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
that somehow I would
I would, yeah,
orchestrate my these things I'm going to do is either it goes this way or it goes that
or
way.
it
That's
goes that
Somalia
way.
way. Yeah, so that's for me. I started reflecting on this. So I didn't see it from that angle. And this is what it is now, that people are in a situation where they are always scared for their lives, kidnapping, and I mean, I think me, I'm so liberal that I mean, you can say anything you want, but the moment you start to want to kill anyone, or take such powers, because you can't create life, you can't make life. You don't have the right to take anybody's life. You didn't give it, even the ones you give. the ones you bet, you don't even have the right to take it. So the moment you do that, no matter what it is, you're already on my bad side. So that's the thing. So, but we'll see. The only situation here is politicians are going to find a way to, they whitewash people. It's just very easy in Nigeria. Find a way to whitewash some of these things and make it politically really useful for them to catch whatever number of votes they can catch. You guys will see it happen, and from here I'll
See,
come back here and say this happened.
what I'm saying is this: Tinubu is not factoring in Southeast votes coming 2027. That is for sure. I think he's still furthering his nest
He has to
in
factor
not.
it though. He has
I
to
am
factor
telling.
it
He didn't.
because
Sorry,
he
sadly
has
to
to factor
say,
it
he
because
didn't.
he the
Do you know
North
why?
the North is highly divided against him right now.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know why? Do you know?
Yeah.
Look. Do you know why? And Nnamdi Kanu is even a part of the problem right now because the violence he actually unleashed on the southeast actually put away some relevant votes. I get it from the southeast. I think for P2B to be winning the entire Southeast with less than 2 million votes or thereabout, it shows that what Nnamdi Kanu did in the Southeast cost P2B dearly in terms of having more votes. Southeast also have up to like 5 million, 6 million votes on any given elections. So they have looked at the data and they've known that look, see where the vote is going to be pulled out from. And knowing
So
that we South can
let me
I
give you a
can
scenario.
I can I just finish what I'm saying for a while? Let me just say something.
Okay.
And then knowing that the Southeasterners, with the Southeasterners, we have this political resolve. Like we have this thing about us. We're not people that actually blows by the wind. Maybe we just go by the wind, like based on any political equation. Once we have this value system, and once you're a political leader and your value system is different, maybe in terms of how you approach the economy or those kind of stuff, Southeastern, naturally, Southeastern and Igbo person is always economically conscious, So once they notice that, look, you do not have what it takes to grow the economy or stuff like that, I think they tend to like push away from you. I'm sure they've looked at all these things. Tinubu self, what will we do? Yes, the North are divided, but in a way, he still has his structures. To him, he feels he has APC structures, and lots of APC governors they have lots of Northern governors that are in APC. He will still want to use the same template that he used in 2023, try and get all those governors in APC to do his work for him in the North, try and get all those religious leaders, like he gathered all of them in Kano State, pay them money, thousands of dollars to go and be pushing Muslim tickets. He feels he has those. No, he's at the end. He's at the helm of affairs. It's whatever they tell him, his advisors. That's what he thinks will happen, and that's what will make him win the election. Even this last riot that happened, you saw the way he went to gather all those northern traditional rulers to come to Aso Rock to talk to them, even though it didn't really work per se. Probably this 2027 he's going to do the same thing. So he will still do his charm offensive in the north. He will carry out that charm offensive to see if he can actually win the north again. So in the way, he will still factor in the north. In his own political equation, he thinks he has the north central because the last biggest vote he had in that election came from the north central. So he will still do the same thing he did in north central, in the northeast, in the northwest, I think. But the south is to him. Tinubu knows that one, and it's not today he knew that one. Since 2015, even when he brought in Buhari then, he told Buhari then that look, see where our this thing lies, see where we can actually pull in the votes. He never factored in the southeast and to a large extent the south. So he knows where to factor in the vote, and that is why I always feel that this Nnamdi Kanu's issue, I think, is something whereby, based on the political reality that Tinubu is facing right now, he would want to play politics with Nnamdi Kanu to give him a solution. That's why I'm looking at it because he might feel that it might annoy some certain quarters in the north. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm sensing. So probably after his first tenure, when he feels he's not coming back for re-election, probably that was when he can actually look for a peaceful political solution for Nnamdi Kanu. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Let me say something.
Hold on, just quick one. I believe it's even his second thing that he will not. Remember that this same man, the Kano, is somebody that have been calling for the killing of Tinubu, burn his property and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
See,
I
you're right.
want so second time, not forget it. He will not release it. If he's releasing him, it will be now because of some political calculation. As far as he's not releasing him in this with the first forget it, it's done. And I wish he never does.
Okay. Yeah. Talking about, yeah, it's good you mentioned political calculation because again, remember what happened during the time they said no elections, and no election was almost like a trending thing for the southeastern people who, you know, and the night or so or 2 days before the election, they said, okay, you can go and vote. These are people who don't even have voters card, people who even refuse to go and collect their voters card. So it was almost like no election. They didn't vote. So imagine if they replicate the same thing. You release him now, he comes up again and whip up other sentiment and start saying he went to court, he defeated them in their court, and people, start to gather up again and again and again. The next thing they say we're not going to vote until they do this, they do that, they do that. Now suppressing the vote from the southeast, then taking whatever he can take from the southwest, north central, and like that. Then the next thing he's winning again.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. South is not voting is at the detriment of the APC. APC will want Southeast to so that
But they will not. They
they,
they,
they
they, they didn't win southeast. They've never won southeast.
yes, now they will want P2, they want the vote to go to P2B so that P2B's vote will diminish that of Atiku. If P2B and Atiku should join together, it will be not good for the APC. So APC will want Southeast to vote for P2B. So that your calculation is not calculating.
I'm just saying that from what has happened in the past. So at the end of the day, I
Yeah,
mean,
I understand you, but I just want to point it out for you that Nnamdi Kanu coming out to say no election in the southeast is APC will want southeast to vote for P2B. That is the calculation there.
no. So why? I mean, they want him to. Yeah, they want southeast to vote for P2B. Yes, correct. But they won't want to have a lot of votes come out from there.
Yeah, they
You know.
wouldn't want to have a lot of votes come out from there. And in a way, Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration, I don't know whether I don't know whether it's even part of the disadvantage right now. I don't just know that one of the advantage they're playing on. But what I know is that I doubt there's nothing to factor into. I don't think there's anything they can key into Nnamdi Kanu's release right now. This Tinubu's government, I do not see any particular equation they can play on to try to release that guy. They can afford to keep him there and play the politics of 2027, and they might succeed based on how they did the last time, whether it's illegally or I don't know. But to me, I feel that the politics of Nnamdi Kanu, I think the people that are actually playing it is just the southeast politicians. I was in a space that was last week with I don't know. There's this space I was with that this guy came, Valentine Ozigbo. I don't know if you've heard of Valentine Ozigbo. He's a Labour Party candidate for Anambra State governorship election. He ran 4 years ago in PDP to contest against Soludo. That was in the Anambra State government. I asked him then. I was the first one that brought up the issue. I get it. This piece was said like last week. I get it. I was the first one. When people actually asked him about insecurity, I started asking him about the ideological approach to insecurity, and I brought up Nnamdi Kanu, and I asked him to his face, like, what does he feel about the Nnamdi Kanu situation? And in a way, it was like Nnamdi Kanu should be released. That once they release Nnamdi Kanu, that the insecurity will stop in the south and in Anambra State. That they'll be able to separate the criminals from the real agitators and all those kind of stuff. And when I started that conversation, then other people after me started, pushing him on what he was saying. And in a way, he was insistent on what he was saying, that he really wants Nnamdi Kanu to be released. And many people were upset with him in that space because they were like, how can you be conversing for this person to be released after knowing the destruction he has done in the southeast? And he still maintained that. And from the way he was talking, to me, I saw someone that was just talking on politics. But he didn't really care whether Nnamdi Kanu was released or not. To me, he felt with Nnamdi Kanu, him advocating for Nnamdi Kanu's release, it will give him some sort of political capital based on these coming elections. And he stood his ground. And some people, like even Dr. Kenike was in that group, in that space, and Dr. Kenike told him to his face that, look, oh, for you to support Nnamdi Kanu, I would never vote for you. That he only has, Kenike told that I only have one agenda in this 2027 election, and the agenda I have is anybody that supports Nnamdi Kanu is my enemy. I will do everything to campaign against. He told Valentine Ozigbo to his face. Well, the guy said, well, he's free to do whatever he wants, but politics, you just have to like look at things both ways. And he stuck to his guns. So that is the issue. Now the problem is, I feel the people that are trying to look for these long-term political solutions for Nnamdi Kanu are probably the Southeast politicians. They are the ones actually playing these things. Other part of the country do not care. The South does not care. The North Central does not care. The Northeast does not care. The Northwest does not care. And even the Southwest, where the president is, do not care. And that's just the fact. Hello, is anybody still here?
Well, what did they talk? Southwest care that he remains in jail. Northwest care
Yeah,
that he remains in jail.
that's what I'm saying now. That they don't care if he's released. North
They
Central,
care
even
that
South.
no. You see, if you say they don't care, it means I say whether he released or not is not a problem.
Oh
They
yeah, yeah,
want
yeah.
him. They want him jailed.
Exactly, exactly. They don't know. No, I want to say nobody cares on him being released. No, hold on. Some people care that he's there, like the North self. They even want him there, and that is what Tinubu said is looking at.
They not want him there. Southwest want
That
him there also.
that because if not the kind was released by Tinubu, it might even cost Tinubu some votes in the North. I'm sure it's actually
Of course,
factoring in. I get it.
it will damage him very very well if he's released.
Ex-
If he releases him, it will damage him very very
exactly.
very well.
Exactly. That's what this is what I'm saying. But I didn't want to go directly. I don't want it to look like, oh look, this is what I'm saying, because that's what I'm saying. That now Tinubu will not release this guy during his first tenure. That's one thing I know, because it will damage Tinubu's political capital in the North if he tries it.
Releasing him is shooting himself at the legs.
Exactly.
That one is for sure.
That's why I say this first tenure of Tinubu, Nnamdi Kanu will be in that cell. I don't think they will release him. That's why I say probably the second term, when maybe he knows he has nothing to lose again, he's not coming up for re-election. Because one thing with Tinubu, I'm not a fan of Tinubu, but Tinubu is someone that has, to me, I feel he has some level of forgiving spirit, and in a way that has always helped his politics. I'm not a fan of Tinubu, but from what I've noticed, he's somebody whereby that's why you come and beg him and you kneel down. Even people that have gone against him or something like that have betrayed him. That's why they can go and meet him and maybe talk to him, and he has a way of maybe just, oh yeah, I'll forgive you. Let bygones be bygones. He has that. I think he has that characteristics. So he's someone that can actually, you can talk to maybe later, and you tell him, look. Well, now we consider it. It's one of his attributes. Sometimes let's be honest. We cannot just say, oh, this person, because I don't like this person. He doesn't have any good attributes. Even his political rivals will tell you that one thing with Tinubu is he's someone that can easily just overlook some things later. You can really talk to him. He doesn't have that kind of mind to hold on to grudges, like permanent grudge. He's not that kind of person. So on that ground, that's why I say second tenor, you can still use it. Maybe if there is still lots of pressure coming from the Southeast politicians, oh, let's release this guy. And he noticed that he has nothing to lose. That second tenor, I feel, can just maybe just consider to release Nnamdi Kanu. And that's the fact. Are you there? Oh, wow. Is anybody in this space?
Me, my prayer. I'm a bit busy anyway.
Okay.
Me, my prayer is that he never release him. I don't want Nnamdi Kanu out. That's on my own.
Yeah, same with me. Oh. I don't want that guy out. I want that guy to pay for his crimes. To me, sir, from there, sir, even though he departs this life, I don't even care, because to me that guy has caused damage. To me, has caused serious damage. Damage that cannot be repaired in the next 50 years. So let him face the karma that he brought. So to me, that's how I want it. But the truth of the matter is, somehow, there will still be a political solution when they feel that It doesn't affect our political capital. When all those politicians feel these guys release will not influence it negatively, might just decide to release him. But the thing I know is that for them to release that guy, they will give that guy some kind of conditions, some kind of stringent conditions which he has to sign. They will not release that guy unconditionally. They will tell him, look, oh, see, if I want to give you, if I want to release you on this kind of circumstances, see and see and see and see what you will never do again. You will never make these utterances. You never say this. You never appear here. You never do this. You never do. And he has to agree to all of those terms. If he doesn't agree, then you stay there. That's what I see. Nobody's going to release him unconditionally, and that's what people do not understand. They will frustrate him to the point whereby he will have no other option than to just say, okay, no problem. I would accept these conditions for my release. And that is the way I see the Attorney General of the Federation, I think, is going to draw up a list of conditions. I think he's going to draw that list and he will make sure that Nnamdi Kanu. And if you notice, I can remember one time you actually even talking about the idea of releasing Nnamdi Kanu. That was some months ago. Nnamdi Kanu was even optimistic that he will be released or something like that. Then the prosecution team will say then that I think they utter something like, oh, even though we want to release this guy, we'll give him conditions. Now the Kanu's lawyers trying to just change the narrative, start saying that no, that one of the agreement they will have that they want to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditional. So that you are now pushing it out there that Nnamdi Kanu will be released unconditionally. Because they didn't want a situation where if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, his supporters will now start seeing that he was being released with certain conditions. No one with IPOB supporters, when they start feeling that you're being released on certain conditions, they start looking at you like a government agent. So now because they don't want that narrative out there that if they release him, it will be under certain conditions. So his own lawyers now were now pushing that no, the Attorney General of the Federation did never say that they would release him with preconditions. That what they are discussing on is that he should be released unconditionally, which we know is a big time lie. Nobody is going to release Nnamdi Kanu without conditions that are stringent. They will give him many, they will put many things in that release clause, and he has to sign and agree to all of them. If he doesn't sign and agree to all of them, he is going to stay in DSS prison. So that is something most of his supporters should understand. That Nnamdi Kanu that is going to come out from prison, whether it's a political solution or not, it's not the same Nnamdi Kanu that they think they are going to see. He's going to be a different person. I think so. It's either he just stays in that place and continue being very stubborn, or he agrees to be released based on political solutions, but it has to come with stringent conditions in his release clause. That is one fact that they have to deal with, whether they like it or not. He's not going to be released unconditionally.